Hello, 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 and welcome to Clear Waters. Tonight, what does God and a Lamborghini have in common? What in the world? What kind of comparison is that? Is this serious? Is this a joke? What does God and a Lamborghini have in common? You'll be surprised. There is something in common between God and a Lamborghini. Maybe you have never thought about it. Because I would not bring a nonsense title to this live stream. So, Phantom X, welcome to the live stream. Both God and Lamborghini are imaginary. Maybe. Maybe not. We'll find out here in a minute. Let me double check my audio. Yes, that's working fine. And that Discord is ready for anybody that wants to call in. There's a link at the bottom of the screen to have a conversation about what does God and a Lamborghini have in common. So I'm gonna jump right away to this very tiny presentation. Man, I don't know. I think this is gonna be, you know, before I make this presentation, I'm gonna say something. I know there's not many people on the stream right now, but I gotta do what I gotta do. And this is gonna be recorded and people can watch it later, or they can go back on the video, excuse me, on the video scroll. LGO pal, both only rich can afford. That's interesting, but not quite. I was gonna say that this live stream, this topic sounds like it's being made as a message for believers. Not quite. I'm talking about believers in gods, different gods or different entities. Yes, in one way, yes, but not entirely for believers in gods. It's also to bring conversation about something about us human beings that I keep trying to talk about, because I could be mistaken like everything I do and say, but it seems to me that we're not gonna clarify this topic about God until we clarify what's going on with the believer. What's going on with the human being. I don't want to be like, yeah, we have to go inside of us to find God. No, not quite. I think there's a little bit more of practicality, I don't know if that's a word, in what I'm trying to tell you. I think it will be a good idea before I go into this presentation if you calm down your God belief hostility. I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say, and then you can go back to your believing. But I think if you approach this little experiment I'm about to do, you will probably miss the main message of this live stream, which is, what does God and a Lamborghini have in common? Believe it or not, they do have something in common. Bossy Boots, welcome to the live stream. The Jesus of the Gospels is mythical. There might have been a real Jesus. No one knows for sure. Yep. I think we play around with that information about Jesus, that now we only have sticks and pieces of information that makes no sense about who probably Jesus was. So for anybody that is on the live stream right now and you want to participate as a believer or non-believer, it doesn't matter in this experiment, you can do so. Okay, so I'm about to show you something on the screen right now. It's an experiment. Give me just 1 minute to present this information. Because I think, apart from trying to make a message across to you, it could be a little bit of fun. If you reject this information, you're more than welcome to do it. You don't have to believe anything I have to say. I'm just a YouTuber. Welcome, Chuck McNorris. Ray, you sent me a video or something like that. I couldn't quite understand it, but thank you for the video. Chuck McNorris, welcome to the live stream. So we're about to do a presentation here with a little experiment. So if you want to participate, just write it on the chat. What you want to respond to my questions. Okay, so 30 more seconds. Just fixing a few things on the presentation. Ray discomfort. Okay. From Ray Comfort. Ray Discomfort. I like it. All right, so here we go. Let's lower the volume and let's concentrate on this message and experiments. So this is gonna be an experiment, okay? On the screen right now, let me lower the volume. I want to concentrate. This is an experiment. Imagine yourself going to a car dealer, okay? And the dealership tells you, hey, we invite you because we want to let you drive one of our best cars. It's a Lamborghini, and you can drive it for 2 hours for free, no string attached. For whatever reason, they're giving you 2 hours of driving for a Lamborghini, and probably you have never driven a Lamborghini in your life. In case you don't know what a Lamborghini is, it's the car that you see on the image right now. Okay? For some people, they're gonna go like, whoa, this is gonna be one in a lifetime opportunity to drive this car. So I think I'm gonna take it. So no strings attached. I don't have to give any money. If I crash it, no responsibilities. No, sir. 2 hours, you can drive the Lamborghini. Don't make a choice yet. In your mind, would you drive the Lamborghini for 2 hours for free? No strings attached. Would you take the opportunity of a lifetime and drive this car? Just in case anybody wants to respond. Man, in my case, of course. I don't know if I'm ever gonna drive a Lamborghini. Man, free? I'll take it. I'll take it. Believer or not believer, I'll take it. Driving this car has nothing to do with a God or not, or atheist, believer, non-believer. Once in a lifetime opportunity to drive a sports car. Hey, Professor Hirsel, welcome to the live stream. MFSG3, welcome to the live stream. Abdul Gadar, welcome to the live stream. If you want, you can respond in the text, yes or no. Would you take this opportunity to drive this beautiful, powerful car that you're watching on the screen right now, super fast, I don't know, $250,000 car. Will you ever buy one of these cars? No, maybe not. There's someone on the Discord right now, Moneyman CL. If you don't mind, once I'm done with the presentation, we can have a conversation. So, I don't know if we have any believers on the live stream. I wonder if a believer will dare to drive this Lamborghini. Maybe if there's a believer on the live stream right now, they're going like, man, this is a trick. I don't want to participate in this questions and answers. I don't know, maybe Clearwaters is being stinky water since he wants to play a trick on me by asking me this question. I will drive the car, definitely. And I will respond for believers. I think most believers will take the opportunity once in a lifetime and drive the car, take it back 2 hours later. Fun, wonderful time. Awesome, taking pictures, videos. You're gonna tell everyone you drove a Lamborghini for 2 hours. You didn't have to pay a single dime. Yes. Phantom X, I have seen too many people crash Lambos in video. Too much car for me. You don't have to go fast. Just drive it around, man. A few pictures, few videos maybe, or to have that experience. But I think, if I'm not mistaken, probably most people, or maybe most young people, will take the opportunity because it's probably going to be once in a lifetime opportunity to drive a sport car. No strings attached. But this is not the end of the experiment. The dealer is like, wait a second. Don't make a choice yet. We have a second choice for you. And they say you can choose to receive $10 million. Yes. So that is the choice that this car owners or dealership or whatever you want to call it is giving you. There on the vertical, I'm showing the second option. So they say you can either drive the Lamborghini for 2 hours for free, no strings attached, or B, option B, you receive $10 million free, no strings attached. Don't make the choice yet. Don't make the choice yet. As in right now, from the two options that you're watching right now on the screen, which one would you choose? Would you choose the A, drive the Lamborghini? Would you choose B? If you want, you can type A or B on the chat if you want to participate in this experiment. Believer or not believer, it doesn't matter. If you want to have a little fun, maybe you're thinking about choosing A or B, but not yet. Don't choose yet. Maybe in your mind, A or B. So there is a third option here. What could it be? Man, drive a Lamborghini for 2 hours. I love the idea, but receive $10 million, no strings attached, for free. I can buy, I don't know how many Lamborghinis. So in my case, I will take B definitely, but I'm just thinking about the choice. I cannot make the choice yet. So, is there a final third option? Let's watch. What? Receive a big glass of cold water. Wow. So, are you going to choose to drive the Lamborghini for 2 hours for free? Or are you going to choose to receive the $10 million? No strings attached. Or are you going to choose to receive a big glass of cold water so you can drink for free, no strings attached? In your mind. In your mind, which one would you choose? Or if you want to write it on the chat, A, B, or C. I'm gonna make my choice. I'm gonna go for B. I think I could use $10 million. A glass of water, man, forget about it. Why would I want a glass of water before $10 million? I can buy millions of bottles or glass of water. Of course, I'm going to choose B. What ridiculous experiment is this? So, the dealer or whoever is doing this experiment says, okay, so the conditions are to make your choice is, there's an airplane passing. You can hear it on the background. In order to make your choice, the conditions are, you have to sit on a chair or 48 hours and then make your choice. You can only get up off the chair to go to the bathroom and come back. You eat and you do whatever you're gonna do on the chair. Do you understand the conditions now? You can make a choice in 48 hours. You have to wait on that chair for 48 hours. You can only go to the bathroom, supervise, just do what you're gonna do and come back. It is very extremely possible that at some point in time in those 48 hours, your choice, in my case, my choice to go with option B will change when I'm desperately in pain because my entire being is asking for water. Water. It's only been 8 hours and I'm desperate for water. 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 I know there's people enjoying themselves, having conversations on the chat. You're going to miss this message. It's a little bit of fun, but that's fine. That's fine with me. As long as I make this message across. So in my case, if I chose, which I did, B, I think probably after 15 hours, I don't think I'll make it 24 hours without water. Even if I go, I don't know, 30 hours without waters, I think I'm gonna be risking my health, and I will end up choosing the glass of water. So what happened here? Why did I change my choice, which at the beginning was A? Then I changed to B. And then hours later, I changed to C. What in the world happened? Why would anybody let go $10 million for a glass of water? Very simple. Pain is unbearable. You need water desperately. You're about to faint and you're going to run for that glass of water. Maybe some people are going to make it 8 hours without water, 16 hours without water, 30 hours without water, 48 hours without water. Maybe yes, maybe not. Most people probably will run after the glass of water. So, what happened? Let's explain to you what happened here. Thank you, Wendy Kirkland, for the Yules. Thank you so much. So what happened in this experiment? The data, if you notice, didn't change. The feel state of the person changed. The action or choice changed. The brain looks for data that can move us from a negative feel state to a positive feel state. The feel state was the reason for the change in action, not the data itself. Do you think I'm making my point across? The choices never change. The data about the choices never change. It was my internal or the person's internal feel state that changed, and that resulted in a different choice. No data change. So, one more experiment, and this is when it gets quite interesting. Second and final experiment. Here we go. You ready? The experiment. Now, A, for those believers, accept Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior. Who says A? No believers say A? What's going on here? People being rebellious? What's going on? God is watching you. He's waiting for you to choose A. Come on. I'm just joking. The choice is there. I would not choose A myself, so not interested in that choice. Bring me the other ones to see what's going to happen. Wendy Kirkland, choosing A. Accept Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior. Now let's go with the second choice. Second option. I know those pesky atheists, unbelievers, are probably going to choose B. Reject the idea of God because of the lack of evidence. Take that, believers in invisible entities. So, probably atheists and unbelievers will be very happy to select option B. Myself, I think I will choose option B. I will not accept Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior. No, not interested. I will choose B. I reject the idea of God because of the lack of evidence. I have no evidence. Not so fast, Wendy. The experiment is not done yet. So, only one person making a choice, Wendy Kirkland and myself. No problem. Now, let's see what is the final, third and final option for this second experiment. What could be that third option? What could be? What? A glass of water? That's the third option? Oh, I know Wendy that is participating in this experiment chose A. I chose B. I know that most believers will choose option A, of course. They're like, man, I don't want a glass of water. I don't want a glass of water. So, Same conditions. You can only make your choice after 48 hours. Same conditions. You sit on that chair. You can only get up the chair to go to the bathroom supervised and then come back to the chair. If you're going to sleep or eat, you got to do it on the chair for 48 hours. And then make your choice. Ooh, okay. I take the experiment, I take the test, and it's been what? 1 hour? I'm like, you know what? I'm done. I don't care about the idea of God, so I'm done with this experiment. I'll take the glass of water. Don't mind me. I'm out after 1 hour. I'm not gonna suffer for something, that doesn't exist. So I'm out. Now the believer will push it. Charles Oliver, I would choose C. Thank you for participating. I know Wendy Kirkland chose A. I chose B, but after 1 hour thinking about it, I'm like, man, what am I doing? I'm out of here. Of course, Charles Oliver selected C, so he takes a glass of water. Done with the experiment. You don't have to wait 48 hours. Now the believer is like, you know what? I have faith on my Lord and Savior. I know He's gonna give me the strength to endure this test because I know this is God testing my faith. So I'm gonna wait those 48 hours. I'm gonna teach all those pesky atheists and unbelievers the power of the Lord. 14 hours later, the person is like, God, give me the strength, God. It's been only 14 hours. My throat is starting to burn. God, please send your angels, send Jesus Christ Himself. Tell Him to bring me some water. I'm starting to have problems here. It's only been 14 hours. The believer goes to the bathroom, do number one, and then looks around for a faucet of water, like, oh, the person supervised, like, nope, you have to get back on the chair or you lose this experiment, this game. So the believer goes back to the chair. Now it's been 18 hours and that throat is burning. The chest, the palpitations, the head is starting to get a headache. Dehydration. I choose C. Sorry, God. I know that you love me, so I don't care about this test anymore. I know that God was not testing me because God would not do that to me. So I'm done. I choose the glass of water. I think that some believers will take it to the extreme and probably they will choose to risk their health in order to make it to the 48 hours. So in the case for the believers that chose A and end up choosing C because they couldn't take the pain anymore, it was feeling horrible. They felt that like they were dying. They end up choosing C. Why? What happened? I'm going to explain it to you. Let's not go too fast. Some of you already know what's going on. But for some people that do not understand Humanity 101, I'm going to explain it to you, okay? What happened? The data remained the same, but the feel state of the person changed, and the choice can change with it. If feelings can change what we choose, they can definitely influence what we believe. Same data, Nothing changed. Just the feel state of the person. Wow, what a discovery you're doing right now. I know believers are right now like, dear Lord, please, what is this guy talking about? This is starting to make sense. No, God, please, this is the devil. Take him away. Clear waters, this stinky waters is the devil himself. He's giving me knowledge. He's giving me understanding what's going on, God. Please take him away. Can you please make the fan land on his head? Maybe a banana peel or something? What is this guy doing? What is he trying to do? Ruin my relationship with the most powerful being in the universe, made in Israel? Hey, don't laugh. Not a joke. Not a joke. I'm trying to be serious. So, what is my message for you, believer in invisible entities from foreign countries? The main reason you believe that God is real might not be the evidence you think you have. It might be how you feel about the data, the belief, and the supposed evidence. Your feel state might be what you are actually following. Feel good. Feel could be your God, not God. Ooh, man, that's a kick in the middle of you know where. Hey, Diva, Satan is laughing at you, laughing at me. I know. When his knowledge and information and giving power to the people, it has to be Satan. I know. But I know I can feel the force right now. And some believers, what I just said, started to click. They're like, man, what's going on here? I never thought of that. That explains why I was so crazy in love with that crazy girl at school. The information was obvious that she was a bad girl, but I felt good and I went with her and ended up horrible. Yes, same thing is happening with your belief in any God. The data in these experiments never changed. It was always the same, and your choice changed. So, in case you still don't understand what I'm talking about, I'm going to take it like this in pieces and give it to you like, or maybe a spoon, okay? Because I know you are smart and you are starting to figure it out. In order to make it to believe in a God, it has to go through a believer. That is you. You are the one doing the believing. You don't do the belief, there's no God. So, let me show you this image, this AI slob. I'm like, please, ChatGPT, don't put so much information. ChatGPT is like, no, there we go. If you want move towards God, this is a different example, but maybe you understand it. Someone is telling you about God. You know, God is going to save you. You're not interested because of X reason. If you won't move toward God by the offering of the things that feel good about God, like eternal life, you know, making you feel good, giving you a new heart. So that's, you're here. Man, what happened to my arrow? There you go. You are here. You're gonna be seeing this better on the horizontal. But anyways, someone that is not interested in a God, in any God, is not in a negative feel state in reference or relation to a God. No need for a solution. Don't give me eternal life. I'm not interested. I'm not in participating in any spiritual wars. I don't need to bathe myself in the blood of anyone being killed in a human sacrifice. No, thank you. I don't want to participate. Oh, really? So you're not gonna go after God because He offers you love and compassion and understanding and eternal life? You're not gonna do it? Wait a second right there. You don't have a negative fuel state in you? We're gonna create one. So I just told you about the love of God. Now that you're not interested because you don't find yourself in a negative fuel state in relationship to God, we're gonna create it for you. So what happens? Here comes the preacher, pastor, friend, stubborn friend that wants to make you believe in the God that he believes or she believes. Now, that person starts talking to you about hell, about not being saved, about being burned alive for eternity. You know, losing that love of God. You're going to be burned in hell for eternity. You're going to be living your life in anxiety and fear. Are you interested? No, not yet. Okay, so the burning, the skin, the demons are attacking you. Negative fuel state? Yes? Oh, perfect. All right. Now, that lady on the picture, now she's feeling worried. She's like, man, I never thought of that. What's going to happen when I die, man? Now I'm starting to feel anxious. Now I feel fearful. So what ends up happening? You just brought someone that was not in a negative feel state. You created that negative feel state. You did the favor to the person. Now the person is going to see as a positive feel state the God that you're offering. You see how this works? It's a game. It's a game of emotions. It's a game of feelings. It's a game of controlling people. And never, ever, ever, ever in any of this is a God involved. It's just two human beings. One human being giving another person, another human being, this data and playing with the person's feelings. So at the end, the person is like, you know what? I believe in the Lord. Now Jesus is my Lord and Savior. Praise the Lord. Jesus, shakaraka chalala chalamanga. And now you have a new customer, a new person that is going to give money to your church. Maybe it's going to buy your God merchandise, or maybe it's going to align with your belief in the invisible entity from a foreign country. In this case, Israel. So this is my presentation to you about how Humanity 101 works. And nowhere in this presentation and in this explanation is a God involved. I'm going to close with this little observation. Your God can still be real. But everything that is emotional about this God, that's the part that whoever is feeding you this information is adding to the God for a very good reason. Your energy. Give it to me. Give to me your most precious thing in this life. Your energy. I will convert it to money. I will convert it to ego. I will convert it to anything that is going to make me feel good. Give it to me. So let's jump into the chats and read your messages. Hopefully this message was quite clear. For anybody that wants to call in, there's a Discord link at the bottom of the screen and also on the chats. I'll be happy to explain if you have any questions. I'll be happy to have a conversation with you if you think I'm wrong. please point out specifically what part of my presentation is wrong, and we can have a conversation like two adult, two loving human beings. And for those of you mentioning Satan, Satan says hi. Tell those believers I say hi. Tell them that I say I'm going to deceive them. Oh man, that Satan thing cracks me up, man. Oh, let's read some of these messages, man. All right, we have these live streams divided. I'm on vertical and horizontal. Ars Oliver, Nicholas Holier, welcome to the live streams. The Great Skeptic Philosophy, Robert, welcome to the live stream. Chris Bridges, having fun. Wendy Kirkland says that I just created 8 more Christians. I doubt it. I think that providing information and giving people knowledge, people will stop believing in loving gods that make you feel good and give you a good heart and give you emotional benefits. A God could be real, but not an emotional God that loves you and cares for you and caresses you, you know, and takes your heart and softens it. No, no, no. No, of course not. The only reason that you believe in this loving God, which could be real, but not the loving part, is because being loving makes you feel good. Imagine yourself, the most powerful being in the universe, loves you. Wow. Tell everybody, because your ego is gonna boom, blow up. And this is the only reason you do this, because it makes your ego humongous. It makes you feel good. It gives meaning to your life. It makes you feel important. Nothing to do with a God. You're making this whole thing up in your imagination because it gives meaning to your life. But not amount of lying to yourself is gonna make your life a good life. And the worst part about it is that other people are doing the same thing as you're doing, lying to themselves with some horrible doctrines. So you're contributing to our problem. You're just not aware of it yet. You will find out. You will find out. Sooner or later. Wendy Kirkland writes, you must hate your family. I know, Wendy Kirkland, that message is not for me. Because nothing from what I have said could give you that information. That will be making something up. Making stuff up. Charles Oliver, water is the only thing demonstrated. Charles Oliver, summarization. Choice 1, a glass of God belief. Choice 2, a glass of non-belief. Choice 3, a glass of water. Man, nice. Yeah, I like it. Skeptic philosophy. Both were handcrafted to make handfuls of money. Skeptic philosophy. Speak it, brother. Speak it in the tongues. Man, when I get excited, I start with the I start speaking in tongues and dancing in tongues. Wendy Kirkland, I have a feeling that you do have a family. I do. I do have a family. Mr. Nick, welcome to the live stream and Discord. If you let me know if you wanna have a conversation, have any questions, let me know. I know there's some people on the Discord. If you want to join on the live, just go ahead and connect. Hey Diba, don't play. How are you, man? Where you been? Wendy Kirkland writes, if Jesus is part of our family and you say he hates us, what part of that I'm not understanding? Wendy Kirkland, I never talk about a God or Jesus. My presentation is about, I'm talking about human beings. I'm talking about thoughts that we human beings have. And I'm talking about feelings that we have. And I'm talking about the actions that we take based on the data that we get in our brains and the feelings that we have. How we assign value to the data that we get in our heads. How human beings move themselves through life by moving from a negative feel state into a positive feel state. This is what you're doing right now, Wendy Kirkland, as you're in this live stream. You're moving from a negative feel state into a positive feel state. We're all doing it. I'm doing it right now. I can prove it to you. This is how we human beings conduct ourselves. This is how we operate in reality and in humanity. Diva Don't Play writes, oh, thank you, Wendy Kirkland, for the gift. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Diva Don't Play writes, 2 Peter 3:3. Diva Don't Play is copy pasting information from a book that he reads and follow. Because when you read stuff from that book, you are a follower. You're not a leader. And I think right there is one negative aspect of following this doctrine. You're always going to be a follower of someone that wrote that book 2,000 years ago. That's as far as you're going to go intellectually with this humanity thing, with this life. You're never going to grow past the book because you will always be a follower. I don't follow followers. I don't follow anybody. I want to be my own leader and learn from other people, make mistakes, ask questions, expand, explore, discover. But for people that decided that they wanted to be followers from people from thousands of years ago, like I always say, whatever tickles your pickle. I don't see the value in being a follower from someone that was very ignorant from thousands of years ago compared to all the information that we have today. Skeptic philosophy, was it the demon growling that is going to make more Christians? It has been known to do it. I think that was from the comment from Wendy. Skeptic philosophy writes, I think the Jewish faith Had a long time and never made it more than 2% of the global pop. It was never going to make it on its own. Out of Babylon, what we call a Lamborghini came from God. All were made by him and for him. Out of Babylon, that could be a possibility. Maybe it is correct. I don't see anything of value by some information that you're providing that has, like I said before, has no practicality. You cannot use it for anything. But understanding who you are as a human being and how you operate and how you conduct yourself in this life, there's more value there. Once you get more knowledge about yourself, then you can probably figure other things out. But you're not gonna go trying to understand things outside of yourself without knowing who you are and how you operate. Because whatever you are presented with as information, you are condemned already to feel about the information, which can mislead you and make you make wrong choices. Like, for example, believing in an invisible entity from a foreign country. Diva, don't play a follower of Jesus, a follower of anybody. You're still a follower. So followers, move to the side, because us leaders want to make a change. Followers don't make a change. They just follow. So I wouldn't feel very proud to be a follower of any God. You will always be a follower of someone that wrote that book. You're not a follower of a God because you have not demonstrated a God. No God, my friend. Someone gave you this information and you're following that person. Hey, Aaron.
Hello.
Hello, give me just one moment. Hold on.
All right, sounds good.
How's it going?
Good, just getting off work. How are you doing?
Great. I thought I was going to drive a Lamborghini, but it was not the case. It was just an experiment.
Oh no, is that the post you put in the chat, the Lamborghini and God or something like that?
Yeah, what does God and a Lamborghini have in common?
Wow. I would say that they're both real and pretty cool.
Man, maybe you can go back to the beginning of the presentation and you'll be surprised, because there's a message and I think it's absolutely accurate.
What's the message? I can't check the presentation.
Yeah, basically is that we can make different choices without information having to change, just because how we feel about the information.
Mm-hmm.
So
How do you feel about well, go ahead.
no, basically that's my message, that people feel things and they can make choices depending on how they feel, not necessarily because of the information. And the experiment that we just did on the presentation, the information always stayed the same. The person make a different choice later on the presentation without the information changing. The person changed how they feel, and that's how they end up making another choice. Just exactly what happens when someone believes in a God.
Mm-hmm. I got a question. How do you feel about that one time when I think it was Fathom or Robert, probably Robert, had told you that he doesn't really see the importance of looking into the feelings, that no matter what we do in life, there's going to be feelings, and usually in like big decisions or other decisions, there's feelings, and it's more important to focus on the facts. How did you feel when he said that? Do you
First of
remember him
all,
telling you that?
yes. First of all, of course, I respect what Robert said that day, and we have a little bit more in-depth conversation. It is my view, and also respecting his view, is that everything that you do in this life is going to involve feelings. And that, for me, that will be the same as you're walking around with a gun, loaded gun, and don't pay attention to the gun because I'm going to always carry it in my hand. So don't worry about it. And you're like, okay, you're walking around with a gun in your hands. Why would you not pay attention with the gun? You know, feelings can make the difference from you being a nice person and you in getting involved in a road rage and killing someone. That's how powerful feelings are. So why would you not pay attention to feelings? Feelings can get you to believe into a God. Why would you not pay attention to your feelings?
Yeah, see, I do feel like feelings is not the only thing that should be highlighted. Like, just because somebody believes in God, you know, we got to say, well, it's because he feels good and it's a positive thing in his head. And that's why it's negative, y'all. You know, God makes you feel pretty good. I feel like it's more like the people may feel good because they believe the data, but you could do that about anything. You could feel good that Chulam's real, or you could feel good that atheism is true, or you could feel good about anything. So what is the main importance of that, like in terms of like disproving Christianity or disproving God?
That you can also do it with God of the Bible.
Yeah, but how does it, do you think that that harms God being real?
The harm comes in not understanding what's going on. And when we don't understand what's going on, you're going to have yourself believing in the God of the Bible, you know, a peaceful, loving God. But there are people doing exact same thing you're doing it with another God, different doctrine. And you're thinking, man, those people are believing in the wrong God. That God is probably violent or they're living a lie. They're thinking the same thing about you.
I mean, yeah, that's true. I mean,
I think
that.
I think that probably people unconsciously, they know what's going on. How can someone in the billions probably believe in some God that you know is not real? How can that happen? They must be doing something to believe in some incorrect data, and they think the same thing about you. You believe that something is real based on incorrect data. So your God maybe is not real.
I mean, but I do believe that just feeling positive isn't the only factor. Like I know for a fact that living in America, I have a 50% chance of getting cancer. And it doesn't make me feel good, but I know it's true. What is it like? What if, you know, the feeling doesn't have as much in the input as you think? Just because something is true and you feel good or feel bad, I don't think that's as big of a factor. I think more of, well, the people believe the facts and they believe it and they think it's real is what I would focus more on. Yeah, there are people that are purely feeling, so I don't disagree with that.
This is, in my view, this is the danger to lower the importance to the most powerful tool that we human beings have, which is feel. Because with thoughts, you cannot do anything. With data, you cannot do anything in this life. You need something to bring that invisible data into life. And the only way you can do it is with feel.
So I have a question.
I'm sorry. Yeah. You can have thoughts, millions of thoughts. If you don't do something or feel something about that information that you have in your head, nothing's going to happen externally.
Do you tie feelings into the will of a person?
Absolutely, 100%. Everything that you do right now, even calling right now, you have to go through a process of going from, I'm not going to call it a negative feel state, but you saw or felt something that compelled you to connect to the Discord because you saw something of value in doing that. If you don't act on that, probably the minutes are going to pass and you're going to start creating a little bit of a negative feel state, like in the 0.1%, 2% is going to go bigger. You call, and then that negative feel state disappears and goes into the positive. We do it with everything.
Yeah. No, and I see what you're saying, but away from the whole prompt and all. Can I ask it? Like, hello?
You're breaking up a little bit. Go ahead.
Okay, can you hear me? I said I had a
Yes.
question that's a little off the prompt, if I could ask it.
Sure.
So, do you ever feel like, do you ever take a step back and say that the reason you focus a lot on feelings or like even like the will and all that could go back to like your religious influences you used to have? Because I remember you told me you had a lot of charismatic Catholic influence, and a lot of it is feelings and focus on the Holy Spirit and will and all that. Do you feel like, even though you don't believe in God anymore, maybe that influenced why you focus on feelings a lot?
Of course, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the charismatic Catholics, but I could see where the influence came onto you. But do you see that as a positive thing that you focus on the feelings, even though you don't believe in like Catholicism or God anymore,
Like
or
I,
at
like
least
I,
you doubt it?
yeah, like I said before, everything since I wake up in the morning and I open my eyes, I'm going through this process with everything I do. So of course, when I was a believer, I was going through this process, but with ignorance. Someone else was doing this process for me, and of course, I was controlled. I was putting my energy and time on something that I was not really there, but because I lowered my guard, I was ignorant about how I operate. Someone else was using my energy. So, answering your question, of course, I understand that I was a believer. I was going through this process. I was influenced by this information. I look back, I'm always done this process with everything, including being a charismatic, not being a charismatic. I'm doing it right now in this live stream. So one more thing.
Yeah.
It seems to me that, and I'm not being disrespectful, you're asking that question because one, you lack the knowledge of what I'm saying. You're not even trying to test it on yourself or ask questions about yourself because you're doing it right now. Okay. And two, what I'm saying doesn't align very well with the belief in an invisible entity. I'm explaining how a human being ends up believing in an entity by going through this process. I can demonstrate it to you right now with you or anybody else calling.
Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying. I would say I'm not focusing on applying it to me because I was asking you. I could do that. And the second thing would be, I mean, we could definitely see how it could apply. I don't think that it's necessarily contradictory to God. Because like I said, if you look at charismatic Catholicism, it's not contradictory. You're doing almost the exact same thing you used to do. Instead of putting your energy towards God, you're putting it towards what you would want to say is maybe not yourself, but finding out what's it like to put it toward yourself. What can we do? Because I know in a lot of your lives, you're like, what would happen if humans focused on themselves, right? Rather like the human aspect, the feelings we have, rather than putting it in a God, right?
Yeah, I think I could give an opinion that a believer, without understanding themselves, you're doing a dishonest belief in God.
Yeah.
Because you're not understanding what you're doing. You're just going by feel, and that's it. The God feels good. It makes me feel good. It gives me a new heart, and I don't care about anything else.
Can I jump in for a sec?
Yeah, go ahead. I'll take a break. Go ahead on that.
Yeah, I just wanted to jump in just for a second. I can make the argument that a vast majority of Christians, if not a lot of Christians, deal with internal warfare and struggling and stuff. So I don't think it's always 100% a feel-good state. It's a lot of it's negative with a lot of Christians. But I don't think it's just negative, just positive.
Can you give me an example? Be specific. No specific examples.
Are you gonna answer? I could answer for him. I don't know if he's gonna speak. Maybe he cut out.
I'm sorry, I stepped away for a second. Was somebody addressing me or no?
No, another dude was talking to Javier, but I mean, I could give an example. Like he said, not everything is feel good state being Christian. A lot of times you could feel negative. I mean, just me, when I became Catholic, I had a lot of negative, sad, worried feelings that I was doing wrong things. And how am I supposed to live a life of righteousness when I have so much connection to sin that I still have from my past? I mean, that never felt good to think that way, or having the
Yes.
worry of having to confess to a person. Like, that's not all positive, like you said. And I
Yeah,
don't
that's
think you believe it's all just positive.
yeah, that's a perfect example. And 100%, not 99.9, okay? 100%. That example is a perfect example of you moving from a negative field state into a positive field state. Because you mentioned the word sin. Does the word sin has a positive or negative connotation?
It's negative.
Or, of course, it's negative. So in your system, in your mind, in your heart, or whatever, in your belief system, that will put you in a negative field state. And what is going to resolve that negative state of sin? A girlfriend? A family member? A dog? A job? No, it's going to be the God of the Bible.
I have to give a little pushback on the subject that it's sometimes hard. And the reason that I mention that, and just hear me out, please, because while it might be hard, if there is this eternal heaven thing, like the little bit that you have to give up seems just so infinitely arbitrary and of no importance. If someone came to me, and I'm trying to compare this to a physical thing that could happen in reality. If someone said, if I give him a shoe, for example, that he'll give me a castle made of gold. Like this is, to me, the comparison of what you have to give up to what you would get. Anyone who actually believed this was the case would be an absolute fool not to give that up. They would be an absolute fool. The problem is, if someone offered me a golden castle in a palace that I can't see just for that shoe, it's just not believable. I just wouldn't buy it. People like myself, like I went long periods of time, never cursed. Like if I become a Christian right now, what I would have to change in my life is nothing, literally nothing. I mean, I don't do these kind of things.
Could I push back on that as well, Robert, real quick? So my contention with that is there's a major flaw, would be two things. It seems obvious, like you said, oh, I only got to give up this shoe and I get a golden castle. But when you have the fear of, instead of having a golden castle, if you mess up or if your heart's not right, that you could be eternally damned, that's a big weight on the shoulder. Almost, it's the equivalency of eternal blessing, eternal damnation. So that's one problem. And what if you have the pride or you have the attachment to that shoe that you don't want to give it up? Like, even one thing I would say, no, Robert, you would not be able to just switch to Christianity because you would have the pride of saying, this doesn't make sense. This doesn't sound right. It's ridiculous. Just those statements you said would not compute. And that's why you're not Christian yourself.
That's not a pride thing. Either it's coherent or there's a framework that I can agree with that I could get to that thing naturally, or there's not. Like I'm either compelled to believe that it's true or I'm not. Like I would not tell you that you don't believe in Sasquatch or another thing that you don't believe because you're proud. I'd never tell you that. You have not been shown something that has made you compelled to believe those things. That's the end of the story. You're not believing in those things that you don't believe in because you're proud.
Okay, I respect that. I will say, before you go, Gupta, I do respect that, Robert. Maybe pride was not the right word, but your commitment is not going to move. That's what I mean. Like, you are more stuck in your ways. That's, if that makes sense. I won't say pride, I get it, but still.
I mean, I wanted to say the same thing as Robert. Like, you are losing, you said the religion or the Christianity doesn't give that feel good all the time. Like, just compare the few years of struggling on the earth compared to eternal life in heaven. Like, it can be compared at all. Like, if you are awaiting eternal life in heaven, if you struggled 10 lives on earth, it doesn't make any sense to compare again. Eternity with something which is just for a few years, like.
It's pocket lint. It's nothing.
And honestly,
to the prize.
but what if the process of getting to that prize is not the way you would want to do it? You're like, you know what? I believe that this is not the way I would want to live life. Like, you look at the devil. I have my own vanity. I'd rather serve doing it my way on earth in the few years that I have than to do it that way. I
So-
really do not believe that if everyone had an image of Jesus appear into their face right now, that they would all become Christian. There are people that have pure rebellious intents beyond
Yeah, no, I
just
agree.
a God.
I completely agree. There are, but the problem is, like with the scenario that you gave a moment ago, people already do that inside of Christian religions, inside of the Christianities. So we have a vast variety of different people that maybe somebody like Diva doesn't say a curse word. Maybe he's went 2-3 years without saying a curse word, and to him, he rectifies that's what he needs to be saved. But a Catholic person, or I've even seen Catholic priests that'll use profanity and take swigs from their bottle of whiskey, and they don't think what they're doing is going to condemn them to hell. So there's already a diversity of people that already do certain things that maybe they don't think is the perfect or most upright thing, but they don't believe that it's going to condemn them to hell, and they already rectify with that. So whatever your level is that you're content with, that you're doing right, people are just going to do that. And if I wanted to believe this particular religion, or believe that Christ had risen from the dead, I can do that and still get comfortable with who I am, just like every religion does, and says, well, I'm doing the best that I can to serve the Lord. And that's just the place where I stop.
I actually do agree with what you're saying. I mean, I'm Catholic. You know that already, I'm pretty sure. So I don't see drinking as or swearing to be a sin. So as long as your intent, or if you're not addicted to alcohol or something like that. I would disagree with Dave on that, but that's his self-piety. I understand. But I would say that my belief is not really on personal interpretation. It's more of what the church and the magisterium has. So I don't necessarily say that I could follow God and just do whatever I want. It's the best that I could do. Because that's literally in the scriptures that all Christians do not believe we'll ever reach on our own accord. It's only God coming down to us and us being sanctified. No good we could do is on our own. But I do actually see where you're coming from to a large extent.
Yeah. No, I think Chuck just called me out in there. I don't know if I said I don't curse. I have went long periods of time. Back when I was in church, I didn't curse. So yeah, I could easily not curse. That's not a problem. But I do use some profanity. But no, who I was talking about was Diva. Diva has went several years, he said, as of late, and hasn't cursed, right? To him though, that's heaven and hell. That's the difference between heaven and hell. Whereas different people will have different, I guess, standards that they think God would hold them to, and they live inside of those standards. That's just they justify it to some degree that it's okay.
So are you saying by any chance that could be like the leeway that I might be talking about, like why some people will still do stuff even though they know, oh, I have this heaven coming? They'll kind of create, like, push the goalpost. Oh, this is not a sin, or my intentions are fine. Is that what you would like say I'm talking about or thinking about?
I don't know what you're talking about, and I won't speak for you. I'll let you define it yourself. But the point that I was making was that different people, whether me or whether Javier or anybody that wanted to be saved and go to heaven, they would be an upright person to the degree that they rectify with the text, right? They would say, okay, maybe one person might say, I can't curse at all. Maybe one person would go as far as saying, I have to wear long sleeves and I can't wear shorts because I don't want women to see my legs, or some other, ridiculous extent thing. Whereas others would say, no, I'm a good person. I tithe and I do charities and this, that, and the other. Everybody will have a different level of what they do to consider themselves saved and right with the Lord. And that's not a distinction though, Aaron. That's not a distinction from like what I'm doing right now. So all I have to do is start going to church and commit myself to the thing, and maybe it compels me to be a little better, but that's it. That's the end of the rainbow.
So it seems to me you and Gupta would be better Christians than me, because why do I still have the struggles and the fear of doing wrong, despite this golden castle you guys talk about?
Hey, fair enough. Maybe you need it. I don't know the answer to that.
I mean, if
Or
there is a
Gupta wants
God,
to answer to that.
I mean, if there is a God or if there is not, let's say it's 50-50. 50% chance that there is God, if there is not. And there is like 10,000 religions still now. Even if your religion is true, it still has like a 0.005% chance. So basically, it's like impossible, basically.
I don't know if
Yeah, but I'll leave y'all to it. I'm gonna go into the house, but it's good to talk to y'all. I'll probably hop on in a little bit once I clean up.
All right, later, man.
all right.
Later.
Robin Webster, welcome to the live stream. Jose D. Figueroa. I noticed. I don't know if you're still on the live stream. If you have a specific question, I noticed that you have some comments, but I don't really understand what would be your question. If you don't mind, seems to be interesting your comment, but I want to answer. If you can ask a question specifically. Earth Through, welcome to the live stream. People care more about their dogs and cats. They don't give a F about the truth of their origin. Robin Webster, welcome.
Yeah, there's a distinction between caring about a truth that you can't know in any epistemological sense. So it's like there are truths that are out there that are just, they're so far unknowable that it doesn't matter how important they are. Like you can't know them. So just admitting that is a great relief.
Different kind of truths, I guess.
Yeah, well, as far as our knowing our origin, I know my origin. I come from my mom. I mean, open and shut case with me. I'm done. So, but as far as like the history of humanity and these kind of things, I mean, I'm pretty content that we evolved.
Yeah, that's true. Is good as guessing. I mean,
Jose D. Figueroa writes, I mean, the guy that made the smartest point basically nailed it. That would be Robert, based skeptic philosophy.
Is this
he was the one talking to Aaron.
Thank you.
I'm showing the Discord on the screen so you can know who's talking while the square of the person is blinking green. I forgot that I can also put the labels. There you go. So Robert SP.
Yeah.
Jose de Figueroa, are you a believer, non-believer? Are you a pesky atheist?
A demonic spirit.
A demonic spirit, yeah. Diva don't play rights. Repent and believe the gospel. Be a follower. Basically, Diva's message.
Or brother in hell.
Yeah. Robin Webster writes, a dichotomy says nothing about odds. Well, Robert.
Chuck is killing me here, man. It's good stuff.
Jose de Figueroa writes, it's funny, the guy said you would make a better Christian because he's right. But they don't mean it's about being better or worse. It's just struggling. Oh boy, when you're a believer, you struggle. And the only way not to struggle is to pretend you're not struggling. Because when people believe in God, they have to deal with a little problem. Honesty. It is my view. I always say I could be wrong. It's my view that you cannot believe in a God and also be an honest person at the same time. In my view, it's not possible. You have to sacrifice a little bit of honesty in order to let the God in, Take the honesty out and bring the God in.
I mean, then if you became a believer, no matter what religion, you get to identify as a believer in that religion. So your mind is going to defend it. It's in his mind. It's not like he's sacrificing honesty. He will just say anything to defend it because the mind defend the identity. If you identify like as a believer in Christian Bible, you will defend that. If you identify as a Muslim, you will defend that. It's just a question of what you identify as.
Absolutely. That's why believers in one religion tell believers from another religion that they are wrong or they're lying or they're mistaken or they're confused. They're praying to the wrong God. X, Y, Z. I'm showing on the screen right now. For anybody that arrived late, I made a presentation at the beginning where I explained how we human beings go through a process of making choices, mostly based on what we feel and how we feel. It's a process that takes data. We attach value to that information and make choices. That's how we feel things. And I'm trying to bring awareness that we are mainly believing in God because of how the information feels, not because there's a God. Singer Baba, welcome. Singer Baba 440 from India. Nice, welcome. I guess it's early in the morning on your side right now, probably 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. Out of Babylon writes, God is you. You are made in his image. I don't know, Gudra, if that means something to you.
Yeah, he already explained that he believed that God is like consciousness, group consciousness of everything. Like, I mean, I don't know. I don't believe we created the universe. We created Earth, and then we decided to become stupid, and we jump into our own trap, and we forgot who we are. We lose our powers. We lose our memory. We lose our purpose, and we are now just living on the Earth and being manipulated by the government that somehow rule the entire universe for all eternity by his story. I mean,
it's a crazy story. It's maybe good
crazy
for a movie.
Story, man. Crazy story. Crazy story.
It's maybe a good movie for, I don't know, for the Avengers or something like that. I mean, if you tell yourself that you're God, I mean, is it gonna change anything in your life right now? Are you gonna change the way you're thinking or doing things? In my case, it doesn't change anything.
I mean, we were gods, then we decided to lose our power and memory and everything, like, and to live here like slaves. Why would any god say I give up on my powers, on my memory, on my purpose, on everything? Well, let's be dumb and enslaved. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, it's just information, and you cannot do anything with that information. I'm gonna show on the screen one graphic that I made a while back, and it's not gonna show on the vertical. Just one moment, maybe I can show it on the vertical. Let me see. Okay, question. Question, what is it? The graphic is on the horizontal stream, but let me see if I can produce it on the vertical stream. Question. Nope. Okay, for those of you that are watching on the horizontal stream, there's a graphic that on the left side says thought. There's an arrow pointing to the right, pointing to action. And on top of that is the word feel. The only way you can take a thought and make it into an action is through the power of feel. So in case you take action into believing in a God, you must feel something. Otherwise, you will not believe. That is my view. And I don't know, I think in the case of Aaron, when he presented the example of sin, I don't know if I explained it well enough so he can understand it. Putting yourself in a negative feel state, of course, your mind, like an octopus, is gonna try to find data in order to move you into a positive feel state. This is what the mind does all the time. Some people define it as avoiding pain and moving to pleasure. That's how we operate as human beings. Robin Webster writes, death reveals nothing for the dead. Earth through. Catholic priests drink, swear, and smoke. We had an Irish priest that was a heavy drinker and a chain smoker.
I mean, that's the fun part about the religion. You can choose whatever you want. This is good for a relationship with God. He would like me to do that, or this is bad. Like you can say, God wants me to use the drugs, and you can be very heavy in that. I mean, it's funny.
I just wanted to address something that Diva's saying that is just demonstrably and just it's just wrong. It's completely incorrect. He's saying that you choose and that you choose atheism. You can't choose to believe a thing. Like you either find it compelling or you don't. If you doubt that, then try to believe in fairies just for the rest of the day. Just for the rest of the day, hold that fairies are true. Try that out. See if it works. You won't be able to do it because you can't believe something you don't feel compelled. So if someone doesn't believe a thing and they're categorized because of not believing that as an atheist, then they didn't choose that. They just don't find it compelling. I could tell you the story of the pot in space, the Bertrand Russell's teapot, and say, do you believe that pot? And you be an apodian in the absence. Well, you chose to be an apodian. That's just stupid. You didn't.
New Holiday.
You can choose what you believe.
New Holiday writes, it's about knowing where you're going. What do you mean by that, New Holiday?
That's
William
also
Grace.
funny.
Go ahead.
People know where we are going after death. I mean, where were we before we were born? Like we didn't know anything what's going on. I mean, most possibly it's the same as before our birth and after our death. So, yeah.
William Graves, welcome to the live stream. Cost, you wish you have a fancy car, and then you write cost you say a cash or your point. I don't understand your second message. William Graves. Sometimes if you write clearly, we can give you clear answers. Hey, Christopher, welcome.
Hi, peace be with you, Javier. How you doing, man?
Good. Yourself?
I'm doing great. Thank you for asking.
Awesome.
Sorry I missed your beginning of your live stream. Sorry I missed your beginning. I tried to wait for you. I found out today that you only go on weekdays, not weekends, but I was kind of busy today. I was making a new song that I was working on, so I'll be uploading that soon. But I saw you're still live, so I decided to see what was going on today. I saw your Lamborghini picture.
Yes. Basically the topic of the live stream is, what does God and a Lamborghini have in common? That's part of the presentation I did at the beginning. Both are data.
Yeah.
And we don't take choices just with data. We take choices because of data and how we feel about the data. So you can choose one thing and the data doesn't change, and then change your choice without the data changing, just by changing the field state.
Could the data itself or the data itself also be considered as being called experience?
No, data is just data. It doesn't have any, what would you say? It's just data.
How'd you create the data?
It doesn't matter how the data comes. Maybe you're presented with some letters on a screen. Someone presented to you. If that data doesn't have any value for you, the data will be non-interesting.
Right. That's what I was saying. So the data is experience, because some experiences people are not even interested in. They could have the experience but not be interested in it, but the data is still there.
It's just data. In my point of view, it's just data. It's not experience. So if someone tells you there's a God, that's not experience. That's just data. That's just information. Or someone that finds value in that information, they're going to feel something about that information that creates value for that information. If for someone else, yeah, don't assign value to that data, it's just data.
Right, but it's still the experience, because when you say what you just said is God, well, how do I know that God is there if God is data? So without you telling me that there's a God, then I don't have that data. That's still the experience. Data is part of the experience, whether you accept it or not. It's data for you now, to whether you agree or disagree with the experience or want to have the experience. The data is still there. You see what I'm saying?
Yes, I think that the process of acquiring that data is through experience. You're right about that. But the data, once you get that information that God is real, through the process of experiencing, because you have to be experiencing in order to get the data itself doesn't make it to reality in your case, because it's just data.
Well, it doesn't. No, I don't need to experience data. Data can always be there. For instance, the video game contains data, but if I never play it, I'll never have the experience. But I have the knowing that it does exist without me experiencing the play of it.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes, I agree. You can have the information. Now that you acquired that data, now you have some information that you can store in your memory bank, that there's a God. As long as you don't assign value to that data, it's just data.
But then with that comes, so like I was saying, yes, the last time we spoke with life, life is the data. Life's data. And then you go into the experience of it. But the next step within that experience, for instance, like a computer game, the next step is counsel. How do I play it? What's the rules of it? What's the rules of life, and how do I play life? That's the next spirit, the spirit of counsel.
So if I tell you a piece of data, I have a fish.
Well, use God. Let's say God. You said there's God.
No, I have a fish.
Okay.
That's data.
Yeah. For you, the only thing I got is that you said you have a fish. I don't know what fish is. I have to ask you what fish is so I can gain more counsel on the data you presented. I need more data. I need more counsel in it. So I would say, which fish? For instance, life. When I gave you that thing, life, or God itself is life, right? You see what you following me?
Yes, Gudra. I have a fish.
I mean, you're just giving an example of data, and if we feel something about the data, then we can experience it. But I don't think that every data is experienced, that he said. And he just continue putting like his 7 spirits in everything. But if you just like examine those 5 of his so-called spirits that are natural, like, I don't know what he said, knowledge, understanding, wisdom, counsel, and right? It just describes a living being, experiences, understandings, decisions, and acts, how we act in the physical world. But basically describes life. And the other 2, he added, just introduce divine or transcended dimension. It's just trying to encompass both in the physical and divine aspect to attempt to explain the universe. Like first 5 are natural, and then he just add up the spirit of God and the fear of God. Like in those all naturals and completely understandable, he just said to combine it to explain the universe, to try to explain the universe. I mean, it doesn't make sense to me.
I think that's why I kept the example of the fish. I have fish because it is data. I can make it a different. I can make it a different way. I have a stick.
But you can't have any of those things without something giving you the data about it. Is what I'm telling you. See, that means you're God. When you say you have a fish, that means you're God.
I'm giving you the data, Christopher.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
I don't think he is God if he has a fish, man. How is he a God if he has a fish?
Listen to what I'm telling you. Yo,
That's just
listen to
joke.
Gudra, listen closely and focus on this.
Yeah, I will focus, brother.
You have someone, something, anything,
And I'm God, right?
saying that they have a fish, right? I don't know what a fish is. I'm receiving his data. He has the data. I don't yet. So he, in the essence of what he's doing, he's a god. That's why in the Bible it says, "Ye are gods," because you have data. Some people might not have the data that you have. Some people may never not even be able to build a Lamborghini to even know what a Lamborghini is without the construct of building it, without the materials, without the data of how to do it. But if someone comes along and says, "I can build a Lamborghini," he's like a god. He's not the, but he is like a god, and he
You
has the
said
data to
before
do such
he
a
is
thing.
God.
Okay, okay.
Before you said he is God, now you said he is like a
I
God.
said like
Okay,
a god. I didn't say
so
he was God.
I'm
In
gonna
the
give
sense,
you
I
a,
just made an example of now you're God in that sense. Now you're God
But
when you say
don't
I
you
have something.
don't you feel that we are getting in arguments
Well,
where
okay,
there
let's
is
not jump
0
off the
point?
let's not jump off the boat. Let's not jump off the boat just yet, Gudra. Okay,
Yeah,
so if
that's
you
what
want me
I'm
to
trying to
define,
tell you,
if you want
brother.
me to define it better, then he is like a god. If that's better for you
Okay,
than
but
saying he is God, then
yes,
he is
yes,
like one
yes,
because he contains
yes.
data that I don't have. Okay, you can be semantic all day long. You can be
Yeah, but
semantic all day long, Gudra, but
I'm
let's
just
not do
trying to
that.
tell you. I'm just trying to tell you that if he gives you an example, you just start arguing about every single thing. Like I have a fish, I don't know what is fish. Like those just sound. I don't know how
Because
you can
life,
see some obvious things, man.
because
Like it's
without life, you can't even have data. Without life, there is no data
yeah,
for you
but
to
that's not
even
what he was
say that
trying
you
to
have
tell you.
something. Yes, I
That's not
understand what
he
he's
was trying.
saying. I'm trying to incorporate for him to understand. Remember, he's the one that is rejecting the Bible and rejecting God and the absence of it and doesn't believe in that. I'm trying to show him that, yes, there is a truth about that book and there is a real God. It's just not the one that we've been taught throughout history with religion. Okay, but there is a God and there is truth to it. And I'm showing him a different perception to look at something so that he can recognize God, the existence of something. Even scientists will tell you that something created this universe that we're in. There's something there.
Base your entire, opinion on the claims. Like, who says that the universe was created? Like, how
I
do you
say,
know it wasn't
I
eternal
say,
universe? You're just
I say,
making opinion on
I
the
say,
claims, the next opinion on the
I
claim, and
say,
then you're building something.
I say it is. I say God is real. God
No,
is
you
real.
said the Big Bang was real. How do you know the Big Bang was real?
I studied
have
it. I
any
looked
evidence?
at it. I
Yeah, you have
observed it.
evidence.
Yes.
You have evidence.
Yes, there's scientific
just
evidence that it does
Okay,
exist.
okay, publish it and get a Nobel Prize, brother. We
It's
don't
already
want to know.
it's already been published that the Big Bang existed. What are
I
you
don't.
talking about?
No, it's not a fact that the Big Bang existed. You're just making it up.
Here,
Do you understand?
I'll show
Like
you.
just Google. Yeah,
I'll
yeah,
give
yeah.
yeah,
you. I'll look it up to
if you
see
guys
who
allow me
presented this.
for a second, just want to read a comment here.
Big Bang
Jose
explanation
de
published by who?
Hold on, Christopher. Jose de Figueroa writes value
Big Bang
and
theory
data.
was first proposed by Georges Lemaitre,
Dude,
a
mute
Belgian
the guy,
scientist,
man. He doesn't
in
listen at all.
1927.
George,
He initially
I'm
presented
listening
his
to you. I'm
idea of
looking
an
up
expanding
something for
No,
you to
you're
have
talking,
evidence.
but like he's asked you
You
three
run
times to
sources
stop. He's trying
site.
to talk.
Christopher, can
He
you put on mute,
You
please?
can mute me. Yeah, I can do that. No big deal. I
Please,
mean,
can
this
you do
guy here,
yourself?
he doesn't have to be all crazy though.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm crazy, brother.
Jose de Figueroa writes value and data are not synonymous. You're absolutely correct. Something can have personal, moral, cultural, or spiritual value without that value itself being evidence that the underlying factual claims are true. In many words, yes. So data is just data. It doesn't have any value until we apply value to that data. So I was trying to tell Christopher, I have a fish. If he's not interested in fish or having a conversation about fish, for him it's just data and just ignore it. It has no value. But if he's a lover of fish and he has thousands of fish, probably he's gonna get interest in my data and then attach value to that data. And he will ask me, hey, what fish do you have? What color? How many fish do you have? And engage in a conversation, because then he attached value to that information. In other words, I presented data that he found value to move himself to a positive feel state. And that's how we take action on things. He took the action of engaging in a conversation. This is something that we do with everything that we're doing right now at this moment. Even in the case of you, Jose, writing that message, you're doing it because you're going through that process in that specific moment. If you didn't write that message that you wrote, that comment, you're gonna get an itch. It's gonna feel uncomfortable. You want to write something, and then you're gonna take action on it. Move you to a positive feel state by writing the comment. We do this with everything in different levels. Christopher, you were going to say something?
Yeah, and I agree with you that once you take the next step, action, right? Action, and those will later on, they call them cherubim. Cherubim is what action is. So once you take action or interest into something, but that doesn't mean that the data is not there just because you are not interested in it. That doesn't mean that your experience is going to be the same as another person's experience in that data form. So if you are interested in it, then you will get more counsel about it. But just because you refuse that I'm not interested in that data, does not mean that data is not interesting to someone else. That's why we all have different experiences in life. And those are what called the spirits are poured out. But I wanted to go back to Georges Lemaitre, a Belgian priest in 1927, published his pioneering math-based idea of an expanding universe, which is later introduced as the Big Bang. And it is academically accepted. There's another, Alexander Friedman.
Does that make him affect? Does that make him affect? On the Google, it says supported by overwhelming observational evidence, thought it remains technically a theory in the science sense rather than an absolute unchangeable truth.
No,
so
it's no longer a theory. It's no longer a theory.
Truth. And you are based your opinion on that. No opinion, and everything is
Edwin Hubble published observational proof in 1929. Proof that galaxies move away from us. That's an observable proof that a bang of kinetic energy existed and it is moving. You cannot not move unless there is action or force being accelerated out. So something caused that, and they find that's what they call the Big Bang. A force caused this, and it's moving, it's observable. That's Edwin Hubble. Then you have George Gamow. You have Fred Hoyle.
But it's still categorized as a theory definitionally.
It's categorized as a theory, man.
Hold on, no, Gutra.
Is no longer theory.
That's
proof
not the
is
case.
No longer theory.
Oh my God.
And
look, evolution is a theory. All right. Germ theory is a theory. All of these things are theory and they're still true. We have every reason to believe they're a case, but it's like an object being put in motion and that we have a theory that it's going to arrive at that location. Is this something that we can anyway establish as a fact if it hasn't yet happened? Or if we see 2 points of contact, can we establish that it came from the central location? We can mathematically, can have mathematical proofs on it. But as far as it starting at that location, that is still considered a theory.
Proof. Focus. There is
Listen, focus yourself. Google if it's a theory, and you'll see every document says it's called a theory.
Clearwaters. Do you understand when
let me read it for you. Google, is Big Bang considered a theory? Yes, the Big Bang is a scientific theory.
He's going to interrupt. He doesn't want it out. So all you got to do
we're telling you every article, every AI system, everything will call it a theory, Christopher. Literally everything.
All you have to do is focus and look at what is an observation. Math is the work of called the method, the mechanics of how they're trying to structure an observation. If the math doesn't fit, you cannot observe it. If the math fits, then an observation is going to be there. If the observation is there, it becomes physical observation. It becomes a truth, an existence of fact. It's expanding. They observed it. They calculated it with mathematics. So it is no longer a theory that something took place. They called it the Big Bang actually as a joke.
It is not denigrated because it is a theory. They
called it as a joke.
It is not denigrated because it is a theory, but it is still definitionally
Fred
a
Hoyle
scientific
did.
theory.
Fred Hoyle called it a Big Bang as a joke, by the way, in
That's
1939.
fine. No one's saying it's a joke, and I do believe that it completely happened, and I do believe we have good reason to believe that it happened, and it's a solid scientific theory. However, it is still classified as a theory, Christopher. I want you to at least accept that it is definitionally classified as a theory.
No longer. It's no longer a theory.
Google it up. Just Google it.
It's observational.
Google says it's a theory.
Theory.
ChatGPT says it's a theory.
I don't care what they're saying. I go with an
Scientific America says it's a theory.
Let me ask you: did Google observe it? Is Google a man that observed the real world?
No one observed it.
Oh,
no one observed it.
Is AI a real man that's observing the world? Or is AI and Google a program that man put data in?
Christopher, why would that be a
back to the data thing?
Why would that be a point, Christopher? No one observed the Big Bang. No one.
See, I don't just trust Google or trust AI, right? Because you know what it says in AI and Google, it says they can be wrong because it's just a program of data that is a man-made thing that they gathered and put into a mainframe. That's all it is. It's a collection of data.
It's just like a theory of a Big Bang. It's just man.
When more than one man come out and give you observational proof, it's no longer a theory.
It's still definitionally a theory.
Observable. If I were to take a frisbee and throw a frisbee and it flew in the air, and then I were to tell you, and I were to just tell you without you observing it, I just told you this disc right here, and I just laid it on the table. It doesn't move at all. It's just a disc. I said this disc will fly through the air. Would you believe it without observing it?
Your scenario is. Here's how bad your scenario is. It would be better if there's one person in a field
until it's observable.
Christopher, there's one person in a field, and then we see a frisbee flying, and the theory is that it came from that one person. We didn't see it come from that one person, but there's no other person it could have come from. This is still definitionally a theory.
No.
Is it true? Yeah, it's true, but it's still definitionally a theory.
No. A definition of a theory is just where it comes forth from a hypothesis. A hypothesis that this disc can fly does not prove it until I can observe that happening. Then it's no longer a hypothesis theory. It becomes an observable fact. Are you aware of how it works?
But we didn't observe the Big Bang. You can't observe the Big Bang, Chief.
Theory.
I don't know why you keep saying it's observable fact when you can't observe the Big Bang.
You know where the word theory comes from? The word hypothesis. You know what hypo means? Do you know what thesis means? That's where the word theory.
Are we really going to do a appeal to etymology?
You're professionally jumping on the question from question to question.
I'm
if you
showing
Google
you.
it up, it will show you it's a theory, and you can all you want
about
it's not. Yeah, I mean, you compared to a Google, I think Google have billions and billions more information than you, a single man. So I don't know if you can all you want, but you can prove something that's on the internet all over the place. You can just give us your claims like you always do, but it doesn't make it a fact. Big Bang isn't a fact. It's a theory, and you can continue to talk over everybody and interrupt everybody.
I'll explain. Look, I'm going to explain to you about how AI works. I'll explain to you how
then
AI
ask
works.
me what is this,
You
what
can
is
ask,
that, and then
you can
continue
ask,
explaining.
you can ask AI a multiple different data forming questions that are based on the same subject, and you can get different answers. Are you aware of that?
You are the man who is not aware that the Big Bang
Did you understand what I said?
Listen, forget AI completely. Wikipedia, the Big Bang is a physical theory that describes how the universe expanded from early states. You want it from another page? You want it from Encyclopedia Britannica? It all defines it as a theory. I don't know why you're fighting this so hard.
Ring,
I
Neil
don't know why
deGrasse,
we
Neil
are
deGrasse
talking about
Tyson.
AI. Everybody
Ring.
knows that the Big Bang
Ring,
is a theory, man.
Ring. Neil
You need to
deGrasse
focus, my
Tyson.
boy.
Is
You
the
need
Big
to
Bang a
focus, my
fact
boy.
or is it a theory? Ring,
Yeah,
Neil
it's a
deGrasse
theory.
Tyson. It's a
Focus,
fact.
focus, man. Focus,
It's a fact.
focus,
It's a
focus.
fact.
I totally believe the Big Bang happened, and I believe we're completely validated in thinking that it happened. But what you're saying is you think that a theory is not, for some reason, you don't think that term gives it as much weight as a fact, and that's not true. A scientific theory is something that is backed up by tons of individual facts, but it is still making a conclusion based on those facts. And because it's not the conclusion in of itself, but it is constructed by individual components and facts, it is itself considered a theory.
No, because theories can change when evidence is presented that proves it changes.
Yes.
There's evidence now, observational evidence, that now, yes, it expands. The Big Bang
We know
is real.
that it expands. That's a part of the
It's
components
no
of the
longer
evidence.
a theory.
That's no. The fact that it expands
theory
is something that is
stands.
observed.
The theory stands. You understand what you're trying to argue?
The theory stands. I agree. The theory stands,
so
but it is a theory.
It was a theory. It was a theory. Okay. Now, if evidence comes along, evidence can either one, change the theory or the hypotheses about it, or two, confirm it. In an observation of a theory, does it deny or confirm the theory? If you can observe something happening, will it deny or confirm it, Robert?
Nothing you say makes any sense.
The theory is always standing. All right? It's always there. That's it. That's all it is. It's a theory that stands right there. Now, if evidence comes along to disprove that hypothesis, then the hypothesis collapses. If evidence comes along that proves it in an observation, then the theory becomes a fact. It's no longer a theory, but the theory will always remain there. It's now evidence and observation that that hypothesis is true. That's it.
The last 15
But
minutes,
you know who said?
you were just finding a way to prove that it's not.
You know who said? But you know who said? You know
I'm
who
gonna read
said
it from
was already?
Britannica. Big Bang
You know who
model,
said it?
wildly held theory. I mean, I
Theories
don't
are
understand.
there.
Like everything
It's
is
always there. Focus. A theory
NASA calls
is
it a
always
theory.
there.
Britannica calls it a theory. Every
Everybody
AI model calls it a theory. But you're
Yes.
like,
You
no,
call
it's
it a
not a
fact.
theory.
It's a
I don't think
fact.
you understand it. Yes, it's a theory. Yes.
Thank you.
Now,
I
is that
appreciate
a
that.
theory?
We could have
Is the
started
theory
with that,
a
Christopher.
fact
I don't know why
now?
you're so hard to drag
No,
into
you're the one that's calling it a theory still. No
It is a
one in
theory.
science claims it's a theory anymore. They call
It
it,
is a
it's now a
scientific
fact.
theory, Christopher.
It's a fact now.
No,
What?
a fact
a
is
fact?
the observation of the expansion. The fact is an observation that it is
Yes.
expanding. It is not that it comes
Yes.
from a single point. We couldn't observe it
Yes.
come from that single point.
Yes, we observe this.
We observed that it came from a single. Okay, I'm done.
That's
I
how
don't
they-
know. I don't know what I'm doing here.
Everything is expanding at a particular
Agreed.
speed.
We all agreed on that. That is
And when
one
you-
of the established facts.
I'll give you an
that
example.
build to the basis of the
I'll
theory.
give you an example. You ever play pool?
Sure.
Pool? Okay. Now in pool, if there is a force or an energy, like a ball tapping on
When
the
did
other
they
balls,
stop calling it theory? You said everybody in
all
science
those
doesn't call it
balls-
theory. When did they stop?
follow along. Don't change the subject. Follow along.
Yesterday.
None of
all
this
the
matters.
balls-
Yesterday.
get hit, and all the force forces out. Can you measure the distance of each of those balls? And that which is stagnant stays there, because you know the white ball stays there. Can you measure from
I think
all
you've
the
already conceded that it's a theory. I don't know why we're still going anymore.
point of
We
impact
will continue talking like next 20 minutes
called-
about this.
back engineering? And you know who else said that the Big Bang happened before any man observed it? The Bible.
Oh,
In the
Lord.
beginning, God spoke. The speaking is a wave.
Yeah.
That word there is using vocal cords, which is energy wave. So It was already written and documented that there was a explosion of energy, a wave that created things, and they called it light.
We just didn't know what that meant until the Big Bang Theory, huh? We just, the thousands of years, we just didn't know what that scripture meant until
you can
we did.
find in the Bible the predictions of the First World War, Second World War, everything. Just reading.
We'll agree on, Christopher.
Humans are dumb. You're trying to claim that you're wiser than God, who has all the wisdom, all the knowledge, all the understanding. You are just in life observing what he is. That's it. Humans are dumb.
It's just like your opinion, man.
You can accept it or not accept it. You're absolutely right.
Christopher told you last time, Robert, very good. Some people are smarter than others and some people are dumber than others. Is that right, Robert? I'm quoting Christopher. I mean, man, you are just your joke, man.
All right, well, it's a theory. I don't think it got changed yesterday, and all of the pages just haven't updated it yet. I don't think that's what's going on here.
Ocean Box, welcome to the live stream, Xpad. Dagobah Dave, welcome to the live stream, MC Time.
They hate God. That's their problem. They hate God, but they don't even understand God. So how can they hate something they don't even understand? I find that
That's a genius question, Christopher. You need to sit down and spend the next year thinking about that.
I know,
because if they don't believe it exists, how could they hate it?
I'm not the foolish person.
I'm
not the foolish person.
I hate the flying spaghetti monster.
That's a fool. A fool is somebody who hates that which they don't even understand. That's what a fool is. You hate what you don't understand. Well, so if somebody explains it to you, if somebody explains it to you,
is that why you hate fairies?
Hersey 98. Welcome to the live stream.
What do you mean? I hate fairies.
Do you believe in fairies?
Can fairies be real?
I'm asking you, do you believe in fairies? It seems like a simple question.
Can fairies be real?
I don't know.
See, he doesn't know, but he's going to ask a question of something he doesn't know.
I don't believe in fairies. I don't believe in the God character. I'm asking you if you believe the fairies are real.
Your question is moot.
So
I just asked you, can fairies be real?
Can't be real.
And you
the
said,
gods that
and
you're
you
saying,
just got finished saying,
okay, so we're done with the all right, neither can be real, neither exist. Finished. Thank you.
I don't know is your answer. I don't know if fairies are real, but you're going to sit there and
ask. I didn't say I don't know if fairies are real. That's not the question you asked. You asked, can they be real? That's the question you asked. To that, I said, I don't know.
That's not scientific, Clearwater. I hope you're following along with this. What he's doing is not what a scientist would ever ask. A scientist would never ask such a foolish question.
Well, why such a foolish question of do you believe in a God? I mean, I don't understand how one is foolish and the other one isn't.
Define God. That's what they would say. Define gods. I'm asking you, define fairies. Can fairies be real? Define fairies.
I will use the Wikipedia definition of both of them, and I will concede that both of them don't seem to be real to me.
So there you go.
Stephen Ford, God created the Lamborghini. No. CN Pond, welcome to the live stream.
You're answering the question with another question all the time.
I've never, ever had anyone dodge the question of whether they believe in fairies. That's the first.
Define fairies. That's all I said. Do you believe that they could exist? Define them.
Tiny,
asking the question of something you
flying, human-looking individuals that have wings that are similar to dragonflies. They can sometimes cloak themselves so that you can't see them, and they're about 2.5 inches tall.
And who told you this?
No, you asked me to define it. I've defined it.
Yes, and who told you about this? So you could ask the question, who told you?
Doesn't matter.
Yes, that
Maybe
matters.
I witnessed
yes,
I witnessed I had a personal experience
when he told you.
Oh, now he had a personal experience. You see, everyone, how unscientific the question. Sometimes when atheists ask questions, you got to drill the atheist on their stuff. and don't just blindly listen to the way they form a question.
How many more questions will you ask before you answer the question?
They don't even believe is real anyway.
20 minutes or 15.
Now
I ask one question: do you
real.
believe in fairies? And we're going to be 20 questions down the road, but like, yes, but what is the nature of the existence of fairies?
But then
and
he
the
asked
spirit?
you. But
I said nay or yay. I said nay or yay. You're the one
Right,
talking
I
about
know
fairies
that's the
all the
whole
time.
point. You never did say whether you believed in it or not.
You said you didn't, and now he says he does.
Yeah, I'm doing it
Is it?
sarcastically, obviously, Christopher. I don't
so
believe in
it's
the
sarcasm.
fairies.
Now it's sarcasm.
It's
You see?
100%
you have-
sarcasm.
You
It's a
have
pointless-
same evidence
it's a
for
pointless-
fairy and the god.
It's a pointless,
almost the same.
mindless subject, and that's what most atheism is all about.
You know what I
Pointless
think? I think you don't believe
mindlessness.
in fairies, Christopher. And I think the reason you don't believe in fairies is because you hate them. And I don't understand why you would hate something that you just don't understand.
It's
I don't know
foolish.
why you
It's
would
find
hate
that
them
funny.
because you don't
Now
understand.
he's-
foolish.
Now he's acting right as if he knows what I believe or disbelieve in. He's forcing.
Oh, so you
he's
do believe
forcing
in
it.
fairies? Oh, yes.
Trying
Let
to
the
straw- it's
gospel of
called
the fairies
straw
come
man.
forth.
Now he's straw
Just say it
manning
then.
me.
Admit that you believe in them. This is
Okay,
why you
this
won't
is
take a
why-
position.
this is
This is
why-
why you won't take a position, because both of the positions are shit. It's the reason that he backs the positions are bad logic on both.
Here's the thing with this question.
No
I'll
one
give you guys an
doesn't believe
example of
they're
something.
real because they're angry at
If
them.
I said they were real, then he's going to say what? Give me evidence. Give me proof.
He just ask you a
Right?
simple question. You made a scene out of.
If
you
I say
made
they're
drama
not
out of
real,
it.
then what's he
Uh-huh.
going to say? You see how
how much you hate
illiterate-
them.
illiterate atheism really is? You see it?
If you say no, what am I going to say? I'm going to say, why do you hate them? I don't understand why you hate something you don't understand. That makes no
You're-
sense.
Boy, I tell you, Robert, boy. you
No,
got to
Christopher,
do
the
some-
point of this sarcasm is to
education, man.
demonstrate to you that the idea that somebody hates something that they don't believe in is silly. And whenever we do it with the fairies, you can see how silly it is, but you can't see it when you do it, when you tell people they hate God rather than not believing in him.
Yes,
like,
because
yeah.
what is the definition of God for me? Life. You hate life? You hate life?
I believe in life. I love life. I have no problem with life whatsoever.
Then
But
shut
calling
up
it
and
God
stop
adds
calling
nothing to
yourself
it,
an
whatever.
atheist, fool. If you
But
say you
calling
love
it God
life and
adds
life is
nothing
real,
to it.
according to the book, the
All right,
book
boy.
says
To the
that's
book.
what God
muted.
is,
Sorry.
man. That's what your argument. This is an atheist come from the book. Their whole argument structure is based off of what others have interpreted from a book. If that interpretation is false or in a fallacy, then you make an argument against a false fallacy of
Christopher,
an
here's another
argument,
one. The
and you're
book's
the
just
one
written by
talking about
people.
it. That means that you, sir, are in a greater fallacy than
here's
them because
here's
you're
another
arguing
possibility,
about something
Christopher.
of a false interpretation. I find that hilarious.
Or
with
your
atheists.
interpretation is false, and what you're really reading is a book from someone who thought rubbing poop on
Life
their
is
wounds
false.
was
Life
a good
is false.
idea. You're
and
reading
gentlemen,
literature from somebody that
life
is
is
Stone Age
false.
ideas of reality, and you
See?
think that it's univocal, and that like Genesis
Focus.
agrees with
Focus.
Revelations.
Sir, focus. Is life real? Yay or nay?
Life
Is
is
life
real.
real?
Has
No.
nothing to do with the book.
Okay,
What's
now when we go to the book, ladies and gentlemen, if you go, like I tell Clearwaters all the time,
Christopher,
the book
are spiders
describes-
real?
the,
Are spiders
the book
real?
describes
Are spiders
in the-
real? This is what you're
in the-
doing.
in the
Go to the
English
Spider-Man
language,
book. Go
are
to issue
spiders God?
1.1 and look about
spiders
what
God?
spiders really
Are
are.
spiders God? Are spiders considered God by the definition of all wisdom, all knowledge, all knowing, all of life itself? Is that what a spider consists of?
Look,
No.
is life all knowing? Is that what you're saying?
You're
Life
in another
definitionally
fallacy.
all-knowing?
It's called an illogical fallacy that you're in.
Wait,
Because you cannot
Christopher, I have a
define
question for
God.
you.
You can't define God properly. And I want to finish with it. I want to show this guy something. Life and those 7 spirits that I described, that is the biblical fact of when the word in English says G-O-D, that is what the G-O-D means, sir. For you to say that G-O-D does not exist in the essence of the interpretation of what it is, you there are saying life, knowledge, understanding, wisdom, and all those don't exist.
Christopher, you're such a
That makes
minority in
you
this interpretation.
a foolish
you're less than a
atheist
half of a 1%.
making an argument
that's what
of
this means.
foolishness. Because you're
You
arguing,
know
what they
interests
do is
me?
they're arguing
Christopher,
against
give me a
another's
second, brother.
interpretation.
Christopher, give me a
hilarious.
second. Can you give me a
Atheists are
second?
hilarious.
In knowledge, understanding, wisdom, counsel, and might, it's a completely natural things. You add spirit
not
of God
natural.
and fear of God. Why do you add
are not
those
natural
things that
things.
don't then add up at
Those
all?
are not
Like,
those are not natural things. Knowledge is not a
like those
natural
five
occurrence.
things describe a life basically, and then
Oh,
in
it's
the life
called-
you add up fear of God and spirit of God, and
Experience.
you make connections where it doesn't exist.
How do you get
Can you explain
knowledge?
me?
How do you
How
get
do you get
knowledge?
to-
Christopher, wait,
From
Christopher, do you think
experience.
knowledge is supernatural?
Yeah, basically.
If it's
that's
not
what he's
natural?
saying.
Yeah, knowledge would be considered supernatural because it is not natural. Because a
Oh.
human being has to go through experiences in order to even gain.
But what is
Such
natural?
knowledge.
Like, what's your definition of natural are you operating on? Like, what would you say qualifies something as natural?
Well, are you referring to like parts of creation?
Like, without
it-
using an example, just like define. Like, how would you define natural?
If you're defining natural in the sense of Earth is already created.
Well, like just how you're using it
So-
in the context of what you were just
It's-
saying, like knowledge
it's
is
always
supernatural.
in context. It's always in context. So, for instance, if we're describing something physical that's already here, and I was just born in it, it existed before I came in the world, right? It was
But like,
already
give me
there
a
before I
definition,
came.
like you're without
a
using an
natural-
example.
He doesn't do
Like,
that.
I don't want to go down the
Natural
rabbit
thing
hole
would
of like your example
Listen
though.
to
I just
me,
want you
and
to
then-
like give a definition.
Oh,
Not
but
an
doesn't
example.
go
River,
like-
doesn't go
River.
like that here,
Fucking
brother.
river
That's
is a
an
natural
example.
occurrence. Is a
Doesn't go
river
like that,
natural
Christopher.
or is it natural? It's already in existence. But your knowledge about it wasn't
Knowledge
in
is
existence.
supernatural, right?
You had to get
Knowledge is
experience,
supernatural.
which is supernatural.
Understanding
Bro,
is
I don't know what
supernatural,
you're-
right? Wisdom
No
is
one does, oh boy.
supernatural.
Yes.
Counsel is supernatural. Power is supernatural. I like.
In your definition
I
of
don't
what
know
is
These are all
considered
examples.
super,
These are all examples, but like I just want Christopher to give me his definition because how he just used it in context was
You
kind of
can't get that,
like,
brother. You go
Ladies
down
and
the
novel.
rabbit
It
gentlemen,
hole
wasn't something I've
15
ever heard
minutes
someone
before.
like you. I've never heard someone say knowledge
Why
is
am I still
supernatural, so
here?
that's why I was asking.
I should just leave. Why am I still here? We're talking to fools. This
I
guy,
agree.
they ask me a question, and then when I try to give them the answer, they interrupt. They don't want to hear the
No,
answer.
they asked
No,
for
I
a
was just saying
definition.
without
and you
using
never
an
even
example,
started
that's why I
with
interrupted you.
Sometimes an answer cannot just be spoken short. Did you realize?
Well,
you
it
realize
can.
that, right?
Definition.
I just asked for a
can.
definition of a word, like how you use a word in a sentence. You could be
Okay.
able to like define,
Then
like sum it up in like a
yeah.
sentence or two.
Define it, and I can't even get through one
define
sentence.
supernatural or define
I
natural.
can't even
That's
get.
all I
I
was
can't
trying to
even
understand.
get. I can't get through one sentence without you interrupting.
You
So when you're
have
saying
the
I was
natural
just saying. I was just
ability
saying
to
define natural. Like, give me your definition of natural as you were using it there, because you were just using it in a way I haven't heard someone use the term
natural,
like knowledge is not natural. You know,
natural is a physical reality that exists before I was even here to observe it. That's what natural is.
so it's
The
interesting.
earth
That's
is
an interesting
naturally
definition.
the earth is naturally here.
So God existed before you, so He is completely natural, right?
He's supernatural.
So knowledge
your
is like
definition is
humans
not
are
that.
supernatural. You're saying things that exist outside of
You don't
like
exist outside
our
of
ability
time and
to
space.
observe
You-
or witness them.
You don't exist outside of time and space, do you?
So we're natural.
So
Once-
something that
once you
exists
have
within time and
consciousness-
space is considered natural.
Once you have that
Something that exists
understanding,
within time and space is natural. That's what you're saying.
becomes natural to you in the minute you can observe it. It's a natural process.
So
But
knowledge
that's
is not
before-
natural.
What was before?
No, that would make natural knowledge natural with that definition.
Yeah,
before-
but somehow it's
before
not.
the observable universe, it was all in the supernatural state. You
I tell
couldn't
you what,
observe
Christopher,
it.
go home, think about it a little bit.
It
Come back
has
and
to
talk to us
become
tomorrow.
natural for you to observe in the world. Matter is naturally here. Before you came along in it, it existed prior before you.
I would say that's
People had
pretty
observed it
novel
as well.
definition, though. Like,
It's
it's
super
unique
novel.
to you. I haven't heard anyone really say, like, give that definition of, like, natural, especially when they're talking about, like,
there's
the nature of the
multiple
universe,
natural-
like, or like ontology, like the existence of like
There's
physical things. Or
multiple. If you look up the natural in the dictionary, there's multiple kinds of natural described. Natural rivers.
sure, yeah. I just
natural
mean in the
verbs.
context that you were using it. I've never heard someone say knowledge is supernatural or not natural. I mean, I think most
Did
people
knowledge
would
exist?
agree it is natural.
Did
Fine.
knowledge exist? Did knowledge exist before you could observe it as just you?
But that's
you,
what I'm saying.
right?
I think that definition is unique to you. I haven't heard anyone like say
Wait
that
a
that's
minute,
the
but wait a minute.
stipulation for something being natural.
But wait a
that
minute.
it had
Wait a
to,
minute.
that it had to exist
Wait a
outside
minute.
me being able to
Wait a
observe
minute.
it.
Wait a minute.
That's really interesting.
Is every experience subjective or objective?
An experience,
We
I guess
have to
you
go
would say
down
it's
the
subjective.
rabbit hole again, brother.
All
Rabbit hole
experiences
again.
is subjective, which means what? By that law of subjectiveness. When you are describing something I'm saying you, when you came into this world, did knowledge exist before you?
Well, yeah.
Now,
And that makes it
before
supernatural.
any observation,
Like in
of
general, knowledge
anything.
existed before me.
So before, let's say, before anything could be observed, anything, did knowledge exist?
By definition, no. Like, in order to have knowledge, there has to be a mind, right? Having the knowledge. I wouldn't say that's supernatural.
I didn't ask
though.
that. I didn't ask that.
Okay, sorry. I'm trying to stay with you. I'm trying to stay.
What is knowledge? What is knowledge?
I mean, I don't really have a good definition, but
I use the JTB model: justified, true, and believed.
yeah. Just
Knowledge is
justified true
defined
belief.
as what?
Would you
What
say
now?
knowledge is defined as what? A justified true belief?
Yes.
Knowledge is an awareness, understanding, or information, data that a person gains through learning, study, or experience. So,
I mean, I
Can
could agree with that
data-
too. Yeah.
can data exist before you start to observe it?
Yes.
Okay. So,
In an
knowledge-
abstract sense, like even though there's not a mind, like it's like if a tree falls in the forest, you know what I mean? That thing. So, like, yes, there
knowledge-
in one
so-
sense.
So, did knowledge exist before observation?
Knowledge specifically has to exist within like a mind. So there had to be a mind for knowledge to exist. That's my understanding.
Yep.
Who could have this?
So like you're
mind
kind of right.
knowledge.
Like there has to be a
It's
brain.
Supernatural. It's supernatural. Doesn't have to be a
But
mind.
I don't get how you're jumping to it's supernatural. I'm not able to make
Because-
that leap. Like
Because
I don't know how you got there.
knowledge is not a tangible thing. It's
Does
it's
that
part of
mean
the
it's supernatural?
intangible world. What
Yeah,
well,
you're gaining knowledge from observing structures of matter and tangible things.
But knowledge, like the thing we're calling knowledge and the process involved with like creating and passing knowledge, that I mean, as far as I know, that's all like really complicated physical process too.
What makes it supernatural? I'm just curious.
In the same manner that
Before
your
you, it was
parents,
before you.
your parents
That's what I'm trying to
before-
understand.
In the same manner, your parents before you knew 1 + 1 = 2.
Okay.
They didn't need you. They didn't need you to
And that's
observe
supernatural.
it and then tell them.
What-
It's
it's
supernatural for
in
you
virtue
for the
of
first
what?
time. It becomes a supernatural thing for you
But you think other
until
people
you
share
get-
the same like working definition?
until you become aware because you were counseled by someone and to have an understanding to
So-
get knowledge about it.
Is this like
It's
something you
supernatural.
came up with? Or do you think like are there other people who agree with your operating definition of like what's supernatural? Or like in this instance, like how did you develop this? Was this on your own? Or like
Supernatural is defined as what?
well, all these
Something
things you're saying, like
before
the way you're defining these things is very novel. Like I haven't heard someone else
Well, I'll give you supernatural
use the
describes
word
things that
knowledge or use
exist.
the word supernatural how
Are you
you're
ready?
using.
Are you ready? The supernatural describes things that exist or happen outside the normal laws of nature.
Okay,
and
so
science.
dreams are
So
supernatural.
there we go. That's
Thank
better.
you.
That
All
gives
right.
me
It
something
includes-
I can understand.
It includes, see, you don't even finish the definition. You automatically start jumping in saying dreams. Dreams is not part of this. Finish the definition
Dreams?
before you make
Okay.
an assumption.
Give me some more of your
It
definition
includes, it includes forces, events, and beings like gods, ghosts, and magic that cannot be explained by physical laws.
then. Okay.
Once
So
it
math
is
wouldn't fit that
explained,
category.
Once it's explained, it no longer is supernatural. It is now natural. A magic trick, making a coin disappear, for you not knowing how it works, it becomes supernatural.
Oh.
But when you learn the knowledge and the understanding of how the trick is done, it's now a natural process of your knowing.
So if
That's
David
what's
Blaine would
behind it.
never reveal his
I
trick.
track
That's
now.
what's
I understand
supernatural.
now. Sorry. I track now. I understand now. But I don't know that I agree with like that's like how
Well, you would
most
have to
people
define. You'd have to
like
define.
something doesn't
gods, ghosts,
become
magic.
natural like based on our understanding of it. It is void of our
It
understanding
makes
of
zero
natural
sense.
or
It makes
supernatural
zero
or
sense.
Okay,
exists or
so
doesn't
here's
exist.
something. Here's something that is perfect for you to get what supernatural is. All right. So it includes forces. Is gravity a force?
Yeah. So
Can
it's
you
supernatural,
tell
you're
me?
saying.
Yes. It's right now. It's supernatural because who can explain it? Can you explain it? How it works?
I would be willing to grant like it's metaphysical, maybe,
How do
in
you
the sense
know?
that it has to like our it's beyond our understanding of physics, the true nature of gravity. We can measure it, we can test it, we can have all these ways of interacting with it to know what it does or that it's there. But I don't know
Define it.
that means it's supernatural.
Yeah, I mean, we don't
because
know
it's
how a
a
dream works
force.
either. That would make it.
And I don't
That's
think
what
I don't think
supernatural-
the scientific community, like who develop these theories, would like agree with what you're saying. That you know what I'm saying?
It's a
That
force. It's
Oh,
in
that
the,
it's
he's
it's
on
like
the
that.
reservation on the
It
they
is
definition.
they
in-
wouldn't
it
grant
is in-
anything supernatural. I don't think
It is in the definition.
everything's natural.
It includes forces. Now, I'll ask you this: kinetic energy, is it a force? Kinetic energy, force.
Well, I actually don't know.
It's an energy. It's an energy.
Potential energy or something. I don't know. Well,
Is
no, not
energy. Energy is a force.
I don't know if that's true.
Yes.
Christopher, if you don't mind, I have
A force using energy?
I
I
have
don't
a
know.
question for you, Christopher. I don't know if I'm changing the subject. I don't know, but it seems to me that you have like some privileged information about something that most people don't know about. Something about is extraordinarily supernatural, fantastic out there. Do you have the same amount of knowledge about yourself?
Yes. I have more knowledge about myself than these things because I can actually observe myself. I know more about myself than I do gravity.
So,
Gravity is a
in that,
supernatural
so
right
in that
now.
sense, knowing this information, does it give you anything special that you can use this information about supernatural and God and everything, all the seven spirits, that gives you advantage over other human beings?
Yeah. Once you identify yourself and how you work as a human being, then
Can you give an example?
You can start observing. Well, for instance, if you understand linguistics, it's a form of looking at a word and the etymology and the meaning and how it's used and how it's phonetically sounding out, the pictograph original of it. When you start understanding,
I mean, but what I mean, Christopher, if you understand the mind of God and you understand who God is and you know how this whole thing works, I would think that you would be doing something else, experiencing something else, something extraordinary, giving, I don't know, probably being almost like Jesus, talking to people in the thousands and doing things that people will say, whoa, yes, his knowledge, yes, giving power.
Why?
I mean,
Why would you assume that?
because you're pretty much just like anybody else. Nothing.
Well, let me ask you this question.
Mhm.
How many people did Jesus himself speak to?
No
I
one.
don't know.
You're the one who used the analogy. You're like Jesus. That's what you just said. I'm like Jesus. How many people
Yeah,
did Jesus
in
speak
the
to?
sense of performing miracles, you know, the information that we have that he supposedly made miracles.
Wait a minute, Merrick. Did you? I asked you earlier. Did you read my theses that I uploaded? Remember, I told
No.
you I was uploading two
No.
theses. Why? Why not?
But so
if you go
you're
to
not
one
gonna
of them,
answer the question.
if you actually go to one of them, Clearwaters, my
Mhm.
theses, miracles are not what you have been told in your religion.
Okay, so never
And I-
mind the miracles. Never
prove
mind the
it.
miracles. So anybody that
Oh, that's important. That's
hold
important.
on,
because if you can't
Christopher.
define
My
it,
main
then you're living in
point
hocus
my main
pocus, not
point
me.
is if anybody gets access to this information that you have, is it going to change anything in their lives, or they're going to continue
yes,
living life like?
Yes, it'll change. It'll change the way they have viewed the way that religion has been created in the world today, and it'll change their belief of whether they say there is no God or there is a God. Yes, that's going to change drastically.
In what part do you think is going to improve their lives?
Because you're going to now understand what these things have been saying outside of what mainstream religion has been teaching you.
Okay, so
And these are all
let me be more
things that
specific.
are-
Is it gonna improve their?
These
Is
are
it
all
gonna?
things
Is it
that
gonna?
help your life.
Is it gonna
They
improve
improve
their?
your life.
Is it gonna improve their
Yes.
love life? Is it gonna improve their economics, their financial situation? How?
Yes. Yes.
How?
Yes.
What can they use with this information that is gonna improve their love life, their financials, and their health?
Do you want counseling on it? Is that what you're asking me? You want counsel?
Can you give me just an example of how they can use this information to improve those three aspects of their lives?
So answer the question. Are you asking me for my
Do
counseling?
you get counsel?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, there you go. Very good. So that's the next spirit, counsel. You want counsel and how things are working and how I can create a better life and a better financial place for myself, and maybe perhaps gain love, get love, have someone fall in love with me. Yes, that's all a part of getting counseled and a proper knowledge and understanding. Once you have it, yes, your life becomes way better. Yeah. That's what Jesus says. I came that they may have life. That's what he says. I came that they may have life and have it to the fullest.
So probably I didn't ask the correct question. What is useful, something that can be used, that can be of application to people's lives, that would improve their love life, their financials, and their health with this information that you have? Because I don't see the benefit anywhere.
So if you don't think
probably
there's
just me.
benefit, if you don't think there's benefit anywhere, a classic example, do you put your eggs in one basket?
No, I don't.
What does that mean? If you don't mind asking, telling me, what does that mean to you? Don't put your eggs in one basket.
Are you invested in other religions, Christopher?
That means that I better have options.
Good options, different options. Well,
Yes.
what makes one option better than another option? Would you
I
need
think that
some
would
more
take
knowledge about
it-
the option?
Yes, definitely, yes. An experience, yes, which is information, yes.
Very- Very good. So see what we're doing here? We're actually using the seven spirits to get a better productive life. So that saying, that parable,
Coexist,
don't
sticker.
put all your eggs in one basket, is actually a good parable and something that you could follow. But
Yeah,
in following it, you also want to make sure that you have an understanding about your options.
But
right?
Christopher,
So you don't want to invest
I have heard
something
this
and lose all your money.
I have heard this is same information about not putting your eggs in one basket from people that doesn't have or talk about these topics about gods and supernatural things. So I don't think
Do
this
you
is
know
something
where
that
that
is
saying-
supernatural.
Wait, do you know where that saying came from?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Oh, see? Once you discover where sayings come from, you start to find out that, guess what? It's all connected to the Bible and the manner it's
Okay,
all
so
connected to that.
let's say that I
Wow.
believe
Illuminati.
Let's say that I
The
believe
book
what
of
you're
Psalms, the book of
let-
Psalms,
let's
the
say
book
that
of
I be-
Psalms describes it. The book
let's
of
say that
Psalms
I believe
describes
what
it.
you're saying, that it comes from some source that is God, okay? But the information about not putting all my eggs in one basket, I heard it from some guy in the internet.
The source of that comes from Psalms.
Christopher, I'm asking the wrong questions. What I'm
No,
seeing,
you're right. You want to know where the source. You're asking
from
where the
this
source. You
information
said
about the seven
it came off the
spirits.
internet. No,
from
before
this-
there was internet. Before there was internet, you got it from the internet. Before there was internet,
Christopher, you know,
King David was talking about this in the BC.
okay, I'm
Don't
not going
put
to
your
ask you.
eggs in one basket.
I'm not going to
David
ask you
didn't
any
write
more
Psalms.
questions, because what I'm trying to do, in a way, Christopher, is to take the conversation away from the fantastic, from the supernatural, from the invisible, from the something out there, out of time, out of space, and bring
have a
the
methodology.
conversation back to the human being. That's why
have an
initially
actual
I was talking
methodology.
about us having thoughts, having data, and acting on that information. Why do we do the things that we do in this life? I think it's a more beneficial conversation to talk about the human being than talking to supernatural entity that we're not aware of this supernatural entity. I still have to take my garbage
There
out,
you go.
like I always say.
This is the atheist problem. This is the atheist problem. When you go to the atheist and you finally tell the atheist what the actual word God means,
But
they
it doesn't.
still go back to it's the supernatural God thing that doesn't exist when its life counsel exists. What are you talking about?
Christopher,
God exists.
Yes, Christopher, I am not an atheist. I don't consider myself an atheist. And I'm not trying to negate the conversation, but I think comparing the two conversations, I see more benefit for people and for humanity to talk about them, talk about us as human beings, than talking about something that is supernatural, that is not going to change pretty much anything about our lives.
Well, we went over this last week. Life is in you, right? You got life in you? Yes? Well, I mean, you got
Yes.
God in you. Then God is in you.
What good does it do to call it God?
What good does it not do not to call it God?
I think there's
Okay,
more
let's call
good
it-
in understanding why I have
It
the
is.
thoughts that I have in my head, and why do I take actions based
Let
on
Robert
my...
answer the question. Let Robert answer that question.
Sure.
I like
It's a
to
word
make
without a
people look
distinction.
very
Oh, that's it.
I like
No,
to
that's
make
fine.
atheists
I'll
look
be happy
very
to, Christopher.
illogical.
It's a word without a
love it.
distinction. It's a word. We already have a word for life. We
So,
already
you
have
know,
a definition and
It's
a word for life.
without distinction, ladies and gentlemen. That's what he said. No. You know
Yeah,
what the word
this is
distinction
called an
means?
argument without distinction. Like if you're calling these different things God, but they already have a term, that's like I could say toe is God, like the essence of toe.
Yeah, why do we
I'm
need
like,
to
no,
call
my-
things God when they already have a word for
Right. They already
the thing,
have their
you know?
entire ontology. Like I could do this with my toe, and I'd be like, look, but no toes could exist unless there was
Okay,
God.
give
right?
me this then.
My
Give
toe.
me
No.
this
Hear the
something.
whole argument. Hear the
No.
whole argument.
I've heard
My
your argument.
toe-
Yeah, he just said
Right,
it. Why
that's
would
the
we give
exact-
other names for something? He just said it. That cleared it up. Now I'm going to ask
Okay.
you this then. I'm going to ask the gentleman this. If there is 7 things, how can I sum up in one word all of those 7 things? What word would I use to
You'd
sum
have
up
to. I mean,
all
I
7
don't.
of
I
those
don't know.
attributes?
Cult. My
I don't
Call
know.
cult.
it. You
Just
call, you
insert
would
my
call it.
cult name.
You would call it Elohim, which that's the original,
Nah,
or
nah,
you
you're-
call it God. That's it.
I would call it
That's all it is.
Christofarianism.
That's all the
I'd call it just
Sir,
Christofarianism.
that's actually all the linguistic it is. That's all it is a man is calling something something. That's all it is. It's a word.
Right. It's
They're
you, a
summoning-
man,
but they're-
calling
but they're
all of these things God.
Summarizing.
Let's
They're
just call it
summarizing.
Christofarianism.
Robert, they're summarizing 7 different things into one word. That's all.
No, they're not, though, Christopher. They're not. We've read the text. This is not the scholarly consensus.
Ladies and gentlemen, I digress. Why do we call baseball baseball? Is baseball only consist of a bat? Does
Baseball
only
already
consist
has a definition
of a
for it.
ball? So why don't we just call it bat
God,
and ball?
let's just
swing
call
a
it
bat
God.
and ball, because every word of action has its meaning and function. So why do we take glove, hat, bases, bats, balls, and we all sum it up into one word called let's play baseball? Well, what's baseball?
Oh,
See,
man,
you're
baseball's a game.
we are going down the rabbit hole every single
know,
time.
this is
Guys,
crazy.
ask you one
Rabbit hole.
question.
This is what they do.
What time
They
is it? Do you
cannot,
know?
they cannot argue
Can you
against the
stop
case.
interrupting, brother? Can you stop interrupting everybody the first moment you have the opportunity?
Answer
Like,
my question. Don't
I don't
create
need to
something
answer
else
your
first.
question. Like, can you give me just 10
Why do we
seconds
call
to
it
speak?
baseball? Answer the question. I
You
said,
see,
why do we
you
call
don't
it
know
baseball?
basic of
Would you
Because
answer?
everyone
brother.
agrees on the definition, so we call it baseball. We don't call
Nope.
something God when no one else in the entire room or the channel calls that thing God. That's not what everybody else means. So why
could've
would we
said the
use a
word
novel
soccer,
definition
ladies
for the
and gentlemen.
word that only
I
one
could've
person is
said-
using?
I could have said the word football, and in England, football is not football in America. You see how illogical in
Okay,
actuality they
okay,
are?
I
Answer
call
the
baseball.
question.
I call baseball toesies. Why can't everybody else just call it toesies? Because no one else uses that term for that thing. No one else calls what they see God as or the definitions of. None of the Christians, none of the theists are like, God is these 7 spirits. So you are alone in your definition, and you're
Now
like,
watch,
why
I'm
don't we
gonna
just
bust
all
him.
agree
I'm
on
gonna
that?
bust him right here. I'm gonna bust you right here, okay? You call it toesies? Can you tell me what toesies consist of in your game?
It's exactly baseball. I just call it toesies.
What's it consist of?
Every rule of baseball.
So
Every
toesies, we
rule
play
of
with our
toesies.
toes. Is there anything else in the game? Because you just summarized
Nope,
the game and called it
nothing
toesies.
else in the game. It's exactly
So we don't-
baseball.
we
I just
don't-
call
we-
it
oh,
toesies.
So we don't have a bat and a ball?
It has a bat and
Oh,
a
we
ball.
do.
I said
There's
everything
a bat
in
and
the
a ball
game.
in toesies.
If you
We just call
wanna
it toesies.
if you want to call it toesies, fine. But guess what? You still are lumping different things into one word category. Are you
Sure.
not?
Right,
Sure.
but
Be
the thing
quiet.
that
Be
you're calling
quiet.
it, first of all, doesn't
Oh,
have to like
God.
have anything to do with what it consists of. And again,
Yes, it
like
does.
you're missing the whole argument, like the whole counter argument here, that Robert is getting at too. Of
This
just
is funny.
you can't like we already have a word for what God is. We already have a word for what other things are.
What is
Let's
the word
use
God?
those
Tell
words.
me.
Why do we
And
say? Why are you
You
saying?
define
I
for
forgot
me.
the original example, but you said like God
Define
is
for me. You said define for me God.
is
What is God?
is part of the creation.
Well, no, we're using a book because you didn't just come up with the word God. God is written in a book. First of all, when you observed it, your first time of observing what God is, that word God, either your parents mentioned it or someone else mentioned that word to you, but they got that word from a book. So we're going to go back to the book. And what does the book describe God? You can describe God whatever way you want to. Fine.
People
But
believe
that's
in
not
God
the
long before any
logical
books,
way
brother.
to give the evidence of what the structured word God means based off of where it came from and the understanding of what it was. So I ask you again, according to the book, where all the word come from,
Oh yeah, yeah.
what does it
In the
mean?
book, there's a lot of characteristics to God. I mean, John says
mean,
God
yeah,
is
that,
love,
like,
but it's not one of your 7 spirits. So is John
Yeah, you're
wrong?
focused on that 7 spirits thing, which I honestly I'm probably less familiar than you are on that. But
Isaiah.
So
And then
for
again in
example,
could you break that down more? Why
well, Clearwater asked
you're
the
saying
other
like
day,
the term we
what's the
have for
purpose?
what we refer to God is
Re-
derived from the
remember
summary
what-
of these 7 things? Like,
Remember what Clearwater asked? He asked me last session. He said,
Thank you, Robert.
all these 7 spirits, life and all that. What is the goal of all this? What did I say? My answer was, you remember?
Okay,
who, me or Robert? Am I Robert? Left,
Christopher, I'm gonna do something because I put a poll on the live streams and people are saying to talk about the topic of the live stream. Let me ask you and go back to the initial question that I asked you, and of course the same question goes for Dre, Gudra, and Old Boy. Data. Does data itself and all by itself, does it have any value?
No, we imbue value on data.
Yeah,
No, data has value. You have to what?
Everyone
data
looks.
all by
You and
itself
I can look
without
at the same piece of
observation
data and
is still
disagree
valuable.
on its value.
No,
Yeah.
You and
data
I
itself,
can look have
standalone,
the same piece of data and disagree on its value.
I don't think you're in. Listen to his question. Clearwater, data standing
I
alone by
understand. I know.
itself
I know where
still has
Clearwater's is going with this.
value, still has value. It becomes valuable. That's another word. Value is value. Valuable when you observe what has value. It now is either valuable or invaluable to you. So there's these words that you have to also understand.
I disagree
Value,
that that data has intrinsic value. The human, the individual, or the mind, whatever you want to say, imbues value on data it's receiving from input.
I'll give you an example, Clearwater. Let's say in Mexico, there's these caves, real deep caves, right? Real deep caves. And inside these
Why
caves,
we all time go with this rabbit hole, brother?
Christopher, no,
Christopher,
This is bad.
no, Christopher, hold on.
Aztecs
Let's make
and Mayan.
this way more simple. A pen.
Yeah.
A pen.
Inside the cave.
No, Christopher. No. Hold on.
Is data
A pen
that
is
drawn
data.
on the cave. That
A
if you
pen-
went in the
a
cave,
pen is data.
you finally see it. It now becomes valuable.
No,
It
Christopher,
always had value.
a pen is also data, just like the cave that you're mentioning. They're both data.
Okay, all right. You ready for this? Can you create a pin? Do you create a pin? Can you create a pin inside or outside of your mind?
I'm just saying that the information of
Answer
a
the
pen
question.
is no. Because we're not passing.
Yes.
We're not passing the information of the pen.
Is
So
it
if I
inside or
tell
outside your
you,
mind?
if I tell you that I have a pen, does that piece of information is valuable for you? Valuable?
Is it valuable to me?
Yeah.
If I inquire about it, it can be. Yes.
Yes, of course. You have to
I
take
have
an
to
action.
inquire.
You have to take an action or do something in order to find the information valuable. But all by itself, it's just data.
Yeah. Point of inquiry. What is a pin?
So that will be the representative of me writing numbers on my screen. It's just data.
So now you're telling me that this pin is inside, and now you're saying it's outside your mind because you said that you use it to write with. So now it's outside
I'm just
of your
giving
mind.
you the information that I have a pen. You're just
That's valuable to
listening.
me. If you tell me that you have a pen,
But it might not
and
be
you
valuable
use
to
it-
somebody else.
and you use it to write, point of inquiry, that sounds interesting. Tell me about your pen.
But
That becomes valuable information to
someone
me.
might be less interested than you or not
Yeah,
think.
Yes.
If you
Like
tell me
pen
that you
might be
have
a bad
pen,
example.
if you have a pin,
No,
a certain
it's
sense,
it's a
if you have
perfect
a
example, Christopher. Hold on,
and you
it's
say it's
a
inside
perfect
your
example
mind-
because if you're not interested in using a pen at that moment, probably you're thirsty and you want water, and I give you a pen, and you're gonna start asking,
That's
"Hey,
fine.
which color of pen do you have? Can you see me? Can you let me see the pen?" No, you're gonna be like, "Man, I don't care about your
give a
pen."
damn.
no, I'm going to inquire.
fair, yeah.
If you say that the pen is inside your mind,
No,
then that's
Christopher,
not-
we don't
that's not
go
interesting
through
to
this
me.
process like this. If you're have not
function
been
in the
drinking
world like
water for
that.
the past 10 hours, okay? And I tell you, hey, I have two pieces of information. Tell me which one is valuable for you: a glass of water or a stick.
You're gonna go with the glass of water.
of course.
Why not the
Why?
stick?
I mean, to me, it's
Come on,
Because you
Christopher.
are
You can do this.
assigning value to that piece of data, but the data of a stick you couldn't care less.
I'm not assigning value to it. It's valuable. Do you know the difference between value and valuable?
But you're saying it's by saying that you're saying it's
Stop.
intrinsically
I don't think
valuable,
these
and
guys-
it's not. It's only
Let's go back to
valuable
the
insofar as its
We gotta
utility
go
to a
back to
person.
linguistics. What is the definition of value?
oh my god.
So,
if you ask
okay, so-
In
Christopher
this
what
sense,
time
okay,
in
it
this
is,
so
sense,
if
we're
I
saying
tell
something.
you-
We're saying data has value if it helps a human meet some end, or a mind meet some end that it desires to meet.
No, I'll
So
read it for you.
if
The word value
will
means
lead you
how
to
much something is worth, how useful or important it is, or a
but how we're
personal
using it right
belief
now is not necessarily
what
like
is
numismatic value or
good and right.
like currency or
It can
whatever.
also mean a specific number in math or science.
You know, Christopher,
So
what I'm
that doesn't
noticing,
mean
you're
that
making,
any of that doesn't mean that it's
you're trying to
valuable to
make, you're trying to make, it seems to me that you're trying to make a very,
Definition of
very simple
valuable.
process that we go through
Yeah, you're
every day
overcomplicating
as human
The
beings.
word
And
valuable
you're
is
trying
an
to make
adjective.
it into something philosophical,
A
complicated,
word,
and
listen,
supernatural. I think
The
that
word
the
valuable
information of me
is an
having a stick,
adjective.
it
The word
probably is
valuable
not
is
going to
an
be of value to
adjective.
anybody. But if I tell someone that there's a
Value.
God out there that is going to give you eternal life, two people are going to hear the same data. For someone, it's going to be of very much value, and for another person, they couldn't care less. The
They're gonna
piece of
come to
data
two
has
different
no
conclusions.
value.
That's called valuable, not value. All things have value.
Not
Not all
necessarily.
things are valuable. Let me read you the definition of valuable now. Is an adjective or noun that means having high monetary worth, great
Okay,
usefulness,
so
or high
basically what I'm
importance. It
saying,
describes
okay,
things that cost a lot of money or people and ideas that provide deep help and meaning.
so in the
Not
case
all
of
things
God,
are
so in the
valuable.
case of
All
God,
things have
in the case
value,
of
but not
God,
all things are valuable.
in the case of God, is valuable information even for the person that couldn't care less.
That's the word valuable now, not value.
Okay,
All things
so
have value.
okay, so
So if a person
the
doesn't
word,
look at that
the
as having
information
value to
about
them,
a God
that means
that is gonna save you and give you eternal life is of value.
it becomes either invaluable or valuable. It doesn't have value. Is value.
Does it have value?
Value exists in all things. Value is existence in all
Okay,
things. Have value.
Christopher, and you
Is
know,
it valuable
listen,
or
what I'm saying
invaluable to you?
is that if you get a piece of data about anything, if
All
you don't
things
have
have
a
data.
negative field state in regards to that piece of information, you will not connect it to your emotions, to your feelings. It only when
things are
the
data.
data, you find
All
yourself
things
connecting
are
that
data.
data to a negative field state, you're going to use it to move yourself into a positive field state. In that process, you are assigning value to the data. When you assign value to data, that results in reality as taking action, and that's how you end up, and that is how you end up believing in a God and getting a girlfriend that probably is a bad person for you, making the wrong choices.
Is gasoline valuable? Or I should say, does gasoline have value to a rocket?
No.
Does gasoline have value?
It depends.
To a person.
To a
If you need
person,
it.
to a person that doesn't have.
Rocket, but it's valuable to the person, not to the
Christopher,
rocket.
yeah, to a person that doesn't have a car, couldn't care less about fuel.
Does gasoline itself have value to it?
If you need it, it does. But if you have
It
enough of
doesn't
it, then
say.
not really.
I didn't ask you if you had a car. I didn't ask you if you had a motorcycle. I asked one question. Does gasoline by itself alone, does it have value?
Economical
No.
value,
Yes,
yes.
it does.
Economical
value.
I
yes.
disagree. That's why I think Clearwater even disagrees with you. It doesn't have intrinsic value. It's only valuable insofar as an end.
Here's what I'm
he's doing
teaching you.
this on
All
purpose. He's
things
just
have value.
philosophizing all the time. Like,
Not all
about
things are
everything.
valuable in the context of the need of it. That's where
But
the
Christopher,
valuable
listen,
or
listen
value
to-
comes in at. It's
listen.
different.
Right.
Wait, Christopher, listen to me real
Focus.
quick.
Focus on it.
This
Value,
conversation,
everything has
Christopher, is
value.
not about what has value and what not. What I'm trying to communicate is how we end up taking action in this life, how we end up believing in a God.
All things are data. All things are data.
Yes.
And Clearwater's, I think,
does data have value?
is saying it doesn't have value on its own. A mind, or in this case, a human mind, what we're talking about, people ourselves, we ascribe the value to the data. The data has no intrinsic value.
No, you don't. You don't describe that value.
And
to
that's where
anything.
we just fundamentally disagree.
It
I don't know,
already
like you
has
haven't said anything
value.
convincing. Like I don't
It
see how something has value on its own unless someone
has
thinks it has value.
on its own. Do you have value?
I have value insofar as
you're
other
focusing,
people and like to myself,
I'm not
my own
asking-
mind.
stop.
It's
Listen,
not intrinsic. It's not intrinsic.
Christopher,
Dude,
Christopher, are you wearing clothes right now?
Dude,
Are you wearing clothes right now,
This is
Christopher?
what they do. They change the subject.
Crazy
They
question.
change
No.
the-
I'm not changing the subject. You are changing the subject. This is
This is
not about
bad.
if we're going to
This is
determine if
is
the
great.
information is value or not value. I'm trying to explain
great.
how
You
we
get
as
clothes
human
on.
beings
What's your
end
point,
up
Clearwater? What's your
believing
point?
in a God. My
What's your
point,
point?
my
What's
point
your point?
is
Whether you
that
have clothes or not, what's your
we
point?
get data, okay, and that data doesn't mean anything until the moment that because of a process of field states, we assign
wanna
value
prove
to that data. And that's
There, he
how
showed
we end
himself
up.
last
That's
just showed himself last
Christopher,
night.
hold on a second.
No, he's been saying this exact thing this whole
Christopher,
clothes
I
have
think
value?
I think
So
at
do
one
clothes
time,
have value,
Christopher,
Clearwater?
I think
Do
at
clothes
one
have
time
value?
it's gonna
clothes
be
have
good
value?
if you're not listening, my friend.
I am
This is
listening to
yelling
No,
wet,
you're
guys.
not
This is
listening.
yelling wet.
This is
I'm
funny.
saying
He
that
doesn't think
the
clothes have value.
how a
Clothes
human
alone have
being
value.
how a human being ends up taking action on something,
This
they
is hilarious.
must feel something.
No, you don't have to
Because
feel nothing towards
nobody
anything.
is gonna take action only through data.
No.
In a human being, the three
don't
things
need to
what
interact with
happen
data.
most happen.
You-
You must have
Do you
data.
need to do
You
you
must
need
have
to interact?
feel in order to take action. You must have data. You must have
No.
feel, and you
No.
will take action based on those things. If one of those
No.
are missing, you're not gonna take action in this life.
No. You don't have to interact with data, do you?
You have to.
I have
Everyone
to
does.
interact with data? No, you don't. You don't have
Everyone
to interact with some data. Everything has
Your brain
data.
compels you to at every
interact-
moment.
Do you
Your brain
interact
and
with
your
all
body-
data? Answer the question. All things have data. Do you interact with all things?
You more or less make
Right.
a decision with what data you come in contact with. Like I don't know what kind
Oh,
of
now
answer
it's
you're
becoming
looking for.
contact. Now it's in contact, but the data exists. Have you ever been on a spaceship?
No,
Yeah,
this
no, they're
Christopher,
crazy.
this,
No, but-
this conversation is not
How
is
you
not
feel
going
about
anywhere.
data
I think
when you interact with it.
Christopher, I'm gonna be honest with you at least one time.
With,
You know, I've been
You've never
quiet for the
interacted.
past 45 minutes, staying quiet, and and I try to engage in a conversation with you, and you don't let me talk. You don't want to listen to what I have to say. You don't want to analyze the information. You just came to the conclusion about something, and nobody can prove you wrong.
have you ever been on a rocket
So-
ship? Yay or nay?
No.
Yeah,
I'm
right.
not gonna
You
engage in a
interact with it.
conversation, Christopher. I'm done, my friend.
Come on,
You are
man,
not.
stop
You
with
are
nonsense.
not engaging in
ever
a
interacted with
conversation.
it?
You
No, you haven't.
want.
Does
You
it
came
have
to a
value?
conclusion.
Does it have value? Oh,
No.
listen, see,
I'm
they're
not
all
gonna go through this
flabbergasted
conversation,
now.
Christopher. Come on, man.
Why don't
They brought the
Come on,
conversation
come on.
up.
Why don't
Tell
you
me.
We're not providing anything of value right now. I can prove to
Funny.
you how this process works, and you don't want to hear it.
I just proved to you that
actually
you don't
you're
have to
doing
interact with
you're
anything
doing this
that has
process
data and
right
it still
now.
has value.
You're doing this process right now because you're going through a lot of feeling right now. You're
Guja.
getting yourself into a negative feel state, and you're trying to
value and
desperately
valuable
move
things.
yourself to a positive feel state by yelling and screaming because you feel in a negative feel state when you feel like someone is going to prove you wrong, and you don't like that. So the way you protect yourself by moving to a positive feel state is by yelling, screaming, and trying to prove other people wrong. You're doing this trick, my friend. I've been
I've
watching
already
you the
proved you
whole
wrong.
this
All
time.
the time.
Yeah, I
Can
know.
I ask?
I proved you
Nobody
wrong. I
is
answered all
as
your
smart as
questions,
you are,
and not
Christopher.
one
You
single
know,
time did they
you-
answer my
question.
questions.
I think
one single time.
I think
What is
there's
the debate about?
I've been down this,
Dre,
yeah, I've been down this
Tell me
rodeo
what it is.
before.
we are almost done with the live stream, my friend. I'm trying to have a conversation here about how we human beings process information in life, okay? And I can demonstrate it right now by giving examples. okay? That we gather data. Our brains are like an octopus. We gather data, and then this data is taken to somewhere inside of us. It goes through a filter. If we find value in that information, we will take action on that information through the process of this feeling, going from a negative feel state into a positive feel state.
Ladies and gentlemen, he just said you have to gather it. He's gathering data. Data already exists. He's gathering it. He's gathering it. See? It already exists outside of itself. It doesn't need, you don't need to gather it for it to already exist.
Yeah, whatever.
You see?
Right. It does just.
But any data you come
data.
encounter, you will
How do you gather
either
data?
not think anything of it, or you.
How do you
might
gather
think
data? Tell me, how do you gather data if data is not there in existence already? How can you gather something that doesn't
Clearwater's
exist?
using data is like just like
Everything
events,
has data.
like things that happen to you.
Everything has data. Everything has data. Everything.
I know. I'm just trying to stick to Clearwater's definitions
boy.
when he's talking about.
He just said he has to gather the data.
Christopher,
how are you gathering data
I think,
if you say
Christopher,
that it
I'm
doesn't have value?
I'm gonna tell you this respectfully.
All data has value.
I think what you're trying to do by not listening to other people, Christopher, you're trying to put yourself in a place like you are the smart one, you are the most wise one. And by not listening to other people, I think you're extremely mistaken. Because you're not engaging in any conversations.
Christopher knows how to control his emotion. And you're trying to explain how he feels.
No,
I don't think so,
you
bro.
don't
You need
control
to get
your
out of
emotions
your
when
own
you don't let
perception.
other people talk, Christopher. That's
Now
not
it goes back
controlling
to
your
other people
emotions.
talking. I have let them talk. They've talked.
No,
Everybody's talked. We've had
you have not
conversations.
allowed me to
I've been
talk.
answering their questions.
I don't think you've listened to a
Everybody.
single person here, man.
I've listened
I don't
to
think you've
all
really
your
listened
questions and
and tried to
answered all your
understand
questions.
anyone here.
Just like
Christopher,
right now,
can-
he's saying, I don't
Christopher,
think he's
can you
listening.
be
I don't think
silent
he's
for a moment,
listening. I'm
please?
listening to that.
Christopher, can you
And
be
he's saying,
silent for a
would
moment?
you please stop talking for a
Christopher,
moment?
can
Yeah.
you please be silent for a moment?
I just answered you. Did you hear me answer you?
Sorry, guys, I have to mute Christopher. I never do
I was
this.
like, oh, you got quiet. That's interesting.
Never
That
do
happened
this.
fast.
You guys know that I never do this.
Yeah, I've
But-
never seen Clearwater's mute somebody. This is the very first time.
No, it's not the first time. I have muted other
Not the
people
first time.
before.
Okay, first time I've seen it.
But I don't think we're at this moment providing anything of value for anybody by yelling and screaming and just, everything has value, everything has value, everything has value, and not providing anything of value, really. So I'm done. It's 1 minute until we're done.
I mean,
with
I agree with the spaceship thing. That was a good point, I thought. But otherwise, I'll just.
Oh, but you want to say something in 1 minute before we shut down?
Well, that's just it, I mean, but I like what both of you guys were saying. I thought you were making sense too, Clearwater. You guys were both making sense at different points, I thought. But yeah, I mean, also, I don't know. Yeah, you definitely both were. I thought so. I felt that at one point you guys were talking the same language, I thought, but then it kind of segued.
I think that Christopher is I believe that he's a smart guy. Unfortunately, he cannot have a conversation. He cannot keep quiet, and that's what everything goes out always.
Yeah,
I think it's very smart, and there's some information that I would like to talk to him about, but I don't know. He gets like talking, never stops, and there's no conversation in there, in my point of view.
I mean,
passionate.
This is not the first time. Like 2-3 days, he is always here. And if you rewind the video, like 85% of time, I can give my life on that. He's just talking. But he's not giving what you said, like any valuable information. It's like, and someone asked Christopher, what time is it? Christopher says, do you know who was the first guy who made watch? Do you know what this?
You know who invented time?
Everything is
the rabbit hole.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's supernatural.
it
Everything
sounds like it's kind of a burden to have, like, I mean, that's a lot of information for him to have to be constantly thinking about and processing all the time, so I can understand why it's stressful for him to be trying to explain it, but also I hear what you guys are saying, like, you want to be able to have a cordial conversation,
But also you heard that knowledge is supernatural. Everything that existed before we were born is supernatural for us, but when it's explained to us, then it's natural. Like I don't know, does he hear himself talking? Like,
Wait,
if
what are
I
you
speak-
saying? What are you saying? It's natural or that it's actually supernatural and it shouldn't be called natural?
Like, give me a simple one example of proven supernatural. Like, there is nothing supernatural.
Proven? Oh, I mean, I don't know. Yeah.
Prove me anything super. Like I said, knowledge is natural. He said it's supernatural. Understanding, wisdom, counsel, might, it's all supernatural.
Yeah, that's what was blowing my mind. I was trying to get to the bottom of that. That's why I was asking about that.
Growth, man. All the time.
Wait, what is the? So say, kind of reword that again. Like,
Yeah,
Come
Dre,
back.
we are about to shut down the live stream. You
Done.
want to say something in 1 minute?
I mean, he was saying about 7 spirits. The 5 of those spirits are something that every one of us know. It's knowledge, understanding, wisdom, counsel, and power. Like, those 5 are completely natural things. Everyone knows about them. But then in those 5, he had the spirit of God and the fear of God. So she's in this attempt trying to pull those 5 and those 2 in one, so he can add God into this completely natural thing. So you understand, like 2 spirits.
well, it sounds
completely
complex, man. That's how
supernatural.
I'd say. I'm not. I mean, I only jumped in like when I jumped in and you guys were talking. I had to sit for quite a while because I came in at like a weird moment about the pencil, I think, and I was like, "Whoa!" You guys were all in on it. I was like, "Damn, this is crazy." These guys are all on the same page right now about something, but different page. And I'm like, but then it took a few minutes. I don't know, 10 minutes, however long, until I actually finally was like, I get it. I don't know what we were talking about, the gas maybe or something, but yeah, kind of funny.
All right.
The value of things.
Yeah. So, Christopher, you're listening, man. I'm
The
gonna
value.
mute you. If you wanna say something, closing something out. If you wanna, insult me for muting you, whatever you wanna do in 1 minute, go ahead, man. I'm unmuting you right now. You're unmuted. Christopher, are you there? I guess not. Okay.
Christopher.
No, he's apparently. Yeah.
Gone.
So, guys, I'm gonna shut
Okay.
down. It's been 3 hours. So, thank you so much.
3 hours, thank you.
Yeah, oh boy, Gudra, Dre, and Christopher, and of course Robert, that was also on the call. Thank you so much for participating in the live stream and engaging in this crazy conversation.
It was crazy.
Dre,
So,
if you
all right,
wanted-
guys.
if-
All right, guys,
if you
I'm out of
wanted
here.
to speak-
See ya.
If you wanted to speak later, Dre, or now, I'll be lobby down below.
Yeah. If you guys want to join conversations on the Discord, there's a Clear Waters lobby. You can join anytime. You're more than welcome. It's free for anybody, anytime. So,
What did Gudra say?
I'm sorry.
What did Gudra say? Did he say something?
The Clear Waters lobby is the other channel for talking.
All right, thanks, man.
All right, you guys have a great night. I'm out of here. Thank you so much,
All right.
everybody, for
Clearwater.
joining. Yes, old boy. Thank you, Dre. Thank you, Christopher. You're
Thank
listening.
you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great
Good-
night.
good.
Hopefully, it goes
Nice
better
job
next time. Thank you. Thank you. All right, I'm out of here. Thank you so much, everybody.